kind of close to overcapping here. If not, he'll get like right on the border, including his passive, of course, which is going to make his split pushes intensely powerful. And as you see, that's what's keeping them in the game right now. Granted, Zapman might have been able to rotate over towards the left side and help in that team fight, but at the same time, if he had died, that would have been a just pure bust. But he swung out 3,500 gold for his team in that split push, and I can't imagine Diggs too mad about it. Left side, we are seeing some pressure here. Pain Devion just barely missing the banish. It looks like he was trying to actually banish the preemptive strike dash itself, which is a little risky, but he almost had it. They're going to be going for the Gold Fury here. Rushed and Pain Devion kind of rotating out. He's going to get stunned out here. He's dashing up. It looks like he was forced into beads. Valkyrie's discretion is not going to do the damage he wants. This is Dignitas's fight. There goes all the damage on the best, but he's able to blink out. Pain Devion's getting low. Zatman getting chased now. Anatoly finally joining the fight. Finds a Fearless onto 2. Power Cleave's going to be good. Another Power Cleave finds it. He's trying to chase down Pain, but Pain's going to be able to get out of there. So far, we haven't seen any deaths, which is surprising because this commitment has been insane so far, but look at the heals coming out from Raw. Getting that team up back, almost everyone over half. Great banish to get 2 off the back of Jeff Himla. The Gold Fury at this point will be a free pickup for Dignitas, but it looks like they're going to chase Jeff Himla. Super low. Card only tags 1. Confound. Belly flop over the wall. They get him. Turn their sights to Mace, and now they're trying to find another kill. Oh, look at this. Rush has managed to get back in. Loki's going all the way in the backside. He might find him. Will they be able to see this out? It looks like he's going to turn his sights right here onto Anatoly, who is now super low. The great control coming out from Shadow Q. They've split their forces. I don't think they're going to catch anything, and somehow only 1 kill has resulted from this.
Ponpon wants to dive that tower. Oh, he had to ult on reaction to seeing Ra. That was the only chance he was going to get to the back lines, and I think he just double thought it. He didn't, Ra was pretty low in mana, but probably had another cast or 2 in him. And if he had a blinding light, it was pretty much, no chance he was going to get the kill and was going to die. And unfortunately unable to do it. Okay, here's Anatoly. He's going to be aggressing the Gold Fury. Forces the reset. In comes Defender of Olympus. In comes the Lawbreaker. There they are. Lawgiver. Lawbringer. There it is. That's what it's called. Not the Lawbreaker. And last is now, yeah, he's going to go ahead and get the Confound combination on the Mesa Face. He's going to turn around and ult. And they may be able to turn this around on Anatoly if he's not careful. Goes through a lot of damage. Now there's the Freya ultimate coming through as well. Pain Devion finds a kill. Rush the one in trouble, but Sun Wukong so hard to keep down. Finally, they're able to secure him with the burp to keep him CC'd. But a 2-for-1 trade coming out. They lose their tier, though, does Dignitas. And that is a big factor, I think, in their ability to really soak up damage during fights. Last is going to recall out of here. Going to use Defender of Olympus likely to get back to the fight.
I think we just saw that, though, with the Lawbringer.
Oh, we did. You're right. No, he has to go back to defend the Minotaur. Look, the Phoenixes were coming in.
Jeff is not going to sustain through this. We see rotation come. They're going to start the Fire Giant. We see the Pulse Irradiate combo has been activated. Pompon's in there as well. Aim Strike has been used. And there comes the Tallow Assault. They do have Hand 3. Hand 3 was just used by Bacchus to secure the Gold Fury. They have no idea this is happening. But look at this. Shadow Q sniffs. Something is just not sitting right with me. It's getting super low. It's about 25%. Denial steals the Fire Giant. They have a chance. Assassinate out. Dashes out. There is no Lawbringer to be had here. If they are able to get out of here, this is going to be a huge swing for them. But Zatman is in the air. He dashes in the wrong direction. Pain's in trouble. Pain's going to be going down here. But losing 1 person and the Gold Fury for Fire Giant, I think that's a trade I'd take.
Yeah, that's big trouble for them. Pain Devion has the Polynomicon as well, so his damage is going to be really high in this next team fight as he works towards Rod of Tahuti. Oh, man, but the Rod of Tahuti is coming out in force now for Dignitas. They know they have to get damage on the board. Coming out for both Ra and Athena. This one looks like it's going to be a real heavyweight fight getting into the late game.
Oh, dash in from this. We got the Aim Strike down. Look at the Fire Giant damage. Nowhere to go. Goodbye, Anatoly. But Lassus has rotated in. Defender of the Olympus has also been wasted in this scenario as well, meaning they have a chance to push this. Aim Strike just barely missed. Actually, he does manage to apply it. He is fisted out, and he is gone. Here comes Jeff Hinla now. Zatman going for the designated and trademarked split push. But the Tier 2 tower is in danger. Pain Devion has respawned, and now 2 members now are going to try to defend this. Zatman has to return to the base, or this Phoenix is going to go down.
He's starting to recall back just as Denial begins pushing in, but what can he really bring to the table? There's a Loki as well that can likely 1v1 burst him down. Rushed under Phoenix, tanking it up fairly well. Shadowq's going to lock down Pompa. They've actually singled him out, forced him to use Execute now. So, I'm sorry, Assassinate. So now he's in some trouble, actually. Intoxicate comes out onto Rush. He's not going to be as fast as he may like to be. In fact, snags the side of the wall there. That's a big mark, actually, out on the Shadow Q. I don't think that he's going to stay in range of Burp. He will. Rush is going to just take the fall for the team. Anatoly's ported deep, though. Anatoly is in the backline looking for Mace in the face to lock him down. Jeff Hinla notices it. He goes directly into Horses. Pain to Beyond rotates in. Loki trying to get back into the fight as well. Apollo's in the air here. Comes crashing down. They'll get Jeff Hinla CC'd. Can they burst him before he's able to get out? No, he heals back out. Pain to Beyond zoned out best. Pon wants to find a target as well, but he's being zoned out by Lassus and moving him back towards the other side of the map. It looks like no one is going to die there besides Rushed.
Oh, look at that. That's all pulse damage. That's not even a radiate. Look at him swinging. But, oh, the best comes over and manages to find a Celestial Beam to finish that up. Left side, Pompon continuously trying to bash his head against the super tanky Loki, or rather Athena, uses the decoy to block the Phoenix out. He uses the Vanish. It doesn't look like Lassus has an idea of where he went. He chose incorrectly, and Pompon will be able to escape. Only 2 members are able to get out of there with their Fire Giant buff intact. So I don't really love the play there from Pon. Pon just didn't put himself in a great position to start. Oh, actually, 3 members have the Fire Giant. No, wait, does Mace? Yes, Mace does, okay. Pon went all the way around this side, if you're looking at the mini-map, to try to get a juke. Rather, maybe a gank. He was looking for the opportunity to find someone out of position. Had he just gone into the Phoenix, he would have been able to pick it up with the extra damage. It got pretty low, but thanks to the health respawn, it's going to be getting back up there, and Pon has really overstayed his welcome on this side of the map. Level 18 right now puts him actually in tandem with Lassus. Looking at the gold, they're actually dead even as well. It looks like only a few, like 4 or 5 gold separate them. So the junglers, I mean, I think that's a testament to these 2 players. Is just their level of play is so intensely high.
Pon jukes the Confound and then fists out the Athena shield wall attempt. But gold dead even once again. XP still heavily in favor of Team Dignitas, and it still really matters at this point in the game. Not everyone really hitting level 20, so they are getting the edge, and I think it's shown that last team fight just a little bit more resilient. But Lassus is still about. Well, nope, just gets it. Ratatouille just gets enough gold to finish it off there, so now it's finished on both Athena and the Ra. A lot of damage just upgraded for Dignitas. They're forced to get out of the way of Mace in the Face's ultimate, but I don't think Denial has the rest of this fight with Lassus here with shield wall. It's going to blow up Mace in the Face. Look at that damage. Pain to Beyond does kill Best in the mid lane along with Loki. That actually may be the biggest contributor to Dignitas' difficulty holding this any longer. They don't have those heals available, and now it starts being very difficult for them to stop the push coming in. Pon blows up Zatman inside the base. He's going to pay for it with his life. Jeff Hinla rotates in. Definitely worth it to keep Apollo away from that split push.
Yeah, not to mention that's a 2-for-1 trade. Pain's pretty low, but they took 2 Phoenixes in the process to ensure they both go down. Mace getting super low. Oh, Pain's finding himself in a very bad spot. Belly Flop is going to end his life entirely. Preemptive Strike getting charged. He's looking for the Confound. Shot. He's got it with the reach, but he actually doesn't manage to finish that up. Continuing in the backside, check out Jeff Hindla's damage on top of what Mace was able to do with Exorcism. So much potential here. They're going to back off. They need to get back and heal up. Fire Giant respawns in 5.
Yeah, in they come. Looks like Denial smells blood here. They want to go for the win. No, now they're going to think better of it. Move back out. Don't want to deal with the respawns coming in. Both Ra and Tyr now up and running for Team Dignitas. So Dignitas has to surge back out of their base here and find something. Fire Giant is available. It's got to be where the fight is.
Yeah, they're not going to have a chance to heal here. Left side, Pain de Vion putting that passive to work, healing himself up as much as possible, and going to be picking up this red buff, but he needs to rotate now if he wants to help his team in this Fire Giant fight. 4 members are already there. Rush gets picked. Is he going to go down here? You see him using the bird to try to get away, just barely dodging the Celestial Beam. Bottom side, Mace and Jeff Hinla not 100%, have no chance of being able to save him. He's forced into the Somersault Cloud in a position he really doesn't want to be in. Pain and Loki are moving up to push into the base. That man coming down as well. Mace gets picked off, rushed in a horrible position. 2 members get picked off for free, and the blink from the best.
Yeah. Wow. Didn't work there. He's going in on a Jeff Hinla now. He's going to slow him down as well. Wow, horse is out. It's just, they're base racing. They're base racing. Freya and Loki are in, attacking the Guardian. Only Zatman there. I don't think they're going to be able to finish it off. They may have thrown the game here.
If they could have at least picked up, rather, Zatman there.
They couldn't get him, though.
They couldn't get him. The only chance for Denial to keep holding this one off is if Jeff Hinla can manage to steal the inevitable Fire Giant pickup, which is about to happen. Payne's still full health, but he's getting pretty low on mana. He needs to be careful, but they need to rotate. Now, look at this. Is he going back in there? What's he doing? He's going back. Oh, I don't like that. He needs to make something happen here. Right side, we're seeing the Fire Giant is super low, or rather, it's getting damaged very, very quickly. I don't know if he's even gonna have a chance to get in there.
Yeah, he's rotating. Jeff Hinla's here, though, on the Guan Yu. We've seen him make big plays. Lass is zoning him out well, but it's a little bit too early. Now, Tier, the one with the lockdown. They just can't seem to get the Fire Giant in enough health. Oh, it's stolen by Jeff Hinla. What a monster. He takes it away. I have no words. Jeff Hinla, best objective stealer NA.
World. As 3 members actually managed to take that Fire Giant. Sure, they're not going to have the Warhorse here, but there are still 2 Phoenixes down, which means they have to defend now. If all 5 members, once he gets up, just group up and rush that Minotaur down, you got to think Dignitas is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard for Dignitas to hold this one off. Oh my gosh. How many people got that? Did you check, actually?
I'm sorry?
How many people actually got the Fire Giant? Okay,
3 people. Everyone except for Loki.
Okay, so doing pretty well for themselves, actually. Loki doesn't necessarily need. I mean, sure, it'd be great to give him more physical power, but he's got a lot of height.
Wait, yeah, Freya has it, and yeah, Mace has it. 3 people of Denial have a very, very huge buff. Only 1 objective remains on the map, of course, not counting Gold Fury at 31 minutes, because at this point, I don't think 1,500 gold's really going to matter, considering the gold difference has been even the entire time. The experience difference is drastically in favor of Dignitas, but everyone in their team is level 20. The only real difference is that Shadow Q has 4 levels on Jeff Hinla, but Jeff Hinla was the one who took the Fire Giant, and that's the main support role at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he just did really, really, really great for his team there. And now Dignitas has to try to hold this off. I mean, do you think that they're going to be able to do it? Like, do you think it's even possible to stop the Fire Giant now with all other things equal?
Well, Zatman's quarter worth of Space Invaders here has paid off as he manages to get both Phoenixes to respawn here. Anatoly's forced the Lawbringer early. He actually does damage to Jeff Hinla. Warhorse is in there. Focus on the Phoenix. If they do, they get it down. No problem. Shadow Q only intoxicates 1. Rushed up in the air. Jeff Hinla taking a lot of damage, but he backs off. And now they're managed to take off 2 Phoenixes as Pawn pushes down the mid. Minotaur's already at half. This could be GG. Dignitas had a huge lead. Denial turns it around. Zatman's in there. Huge swing, but they don't have the damage. Look at this. Now they managed to get 1. It's a 1-for-1 engagement. Jeff Hinla's on the defensive here, forcing himself into Anatoly, but he manages to get out for now. Fearless is not going to be good enough as you see the slows coming out from Pain Devion. We're quick, but the best with the realest snipe right through the wall manages to catch. They do manage to hold off a 2-for-1 there in favor of Dig, but again, they lost both Phoenixes.
Yeah, but I mean, they both had just respawned. You know, they couldn't really expect to necessarily defend them that well. All Dignitas can really hope to do right now is just extend the game at any cost. And sacrificing those Phoenixes is, you know, they have to just live with that. But they're starting to pretty much cap out in terms of their damage potential. I mean, Rageblade, the only real final item that's going to contribute heavily to damage. I suppose Lasses could go, you know, Bancrofts or Soul Reaver and get, you know, a lot of one-time burst out of that Athena, but you know, Best just isn't scaling well. You know, just Raj doesn't scale in the late game the same way that Zhang Kui does, and you know, just goes through so much. And Totally, you know, Titan's Bane likely to be the final item here for the tier as well, just to get some extra damage out of that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you got to think there's still some big items that can be picked up. You know, you have Pain Devion has Rada Tahuti and Obsidian Shard finished, but Mace the Face still has an entire slot to increase his damage output, and Bancroft talent would do a lot for him right now.
You know, going off what you just said, talking about how Rod doesn't scale as well, taking a look at the damage here, we see that Mace of the Face has actually almost doubled any other single person in the game in terms of damage. Check it out, 44,000 flat, so much damage. Pain Devion actually getting super aggressive here as that shot misses. Fire Giant still available for another 20 seconds, but I'm pretty sure only 1, maybe 2 people have it. Yeah, it looks like Mace managed to maintain his as well. Left side, it looks like they're going to be pressuring the Phoenix here. Mace jumping right in there to get some damage done. The Raw heal is going to be down. Solar Blessing is going to be on cooldown now for the rest of the fight. Pain Devion activating that pulse. Mid lane, Pompon finding himself Lasses and has found his voice. Loki has gotten big enough to finally push out Athena. Fist of the Gods, ensuring that he doesn't get pressure. Left side Phoenix has been taken. The bait was good enough. Minotaur sitting under half. Pain's in a lot of trouble, but goes up into the air, into Valkyrie's discretion before things got too hairy. They pick off Statman. The Shadow Q super low. The best is gone. Shadow is forced back into the base. Everyone except for Jeff Hindla has enough to get into the base here. Anatoly finds a Fearless, but he's going to get picked off. Jeff Hindla will get grabbed here, but the damage has been done. There's no way they can stop this push. Minotaur's too low. GG.
Wow. Great game. I mean, what a great game that is. And to have it come down to trying to stop Loki Freya in the late game from taking your Minotaur, it just so apropos. And that's actually one of the first games where you've really seen like a snowballing Athena not have enough. And she just couldn't deal with all the damage from Freya and Loki. I mean, you saw there at the end, you mentioned, I mean, Loki just goes in. And just found it was just like, okay, well, guess what I can do? You know, here's 1,400 damage before you can react, and Lassus couldn't handle.
It's crazy because the whole game Loki was trying to do that, and Lassus just like, stop it, fly, and just like push them away. And then I think Lassus was just caught off guard. He's like, I can fight the Loki, no problem. Then you swing over here and you look, he's sitting at 235 physical with 172 attack speed with chin size, which means he can do, you know, aim strike, shot, vanish, shot, and there goes 60% of Lassus's health. He's, you know, forced to turn tail. By the time he heals back up, there was nothing for them to find. Zatman was picked off. Anatoly managed to find himself a kill, but at the same time couldn't get out of it. Trading a 1-for-1 when you're already down is not worth it. And then they were able to get into the Minotaur, and after a very long 43-minute game, Denial has found themselves a spot in the finals.
Yeah, you know, and Denial, they actually pick a really, really clever team here versus something like Athena. Freya beats 3, right? Guan Yu has no problem dealing with CC. Zhang Kui has no problem dealing with it, neither does Sun Wukong. And Loki's very, very slippery. So it was really, he didn't actually have great targets in Lassus.
Almost doubling, by the way, in terms of damage. Mace to the face was 200 damage away from doubling Pain de Beyond. He was a few hundred damage. Actually, he managed to over-double Rush. Only the best really managed to get over that hump, and it was only about 2k off. 51,000 damage coming out from Zhang Kui. You got to think that they're happy that Mace didn't pick Isis.
yeah. I think Zhang Kui did really well for them. I think his positioning in those early team fights was like just one. Like that won them those early team fights. No question.
I absolutely agree, 100%. Let's take a look at the bracket here. For those of you at home who don't have it, we'll make sure to post those up for you in just a second. It looks like Cognitive NA was able, well, let's make sure.
Yeah, they won. Yeah,
able to get over Pentablink, who are going to fall down to the consolation match. Well, they'll be Pentablink will be fighting Team Dignitas. Denial has earned themselves a spot in the finals against Cognitive NA, a matchup that we've been seeing a lot recently, and I know Denial is very hungry for this win.
Yeah, they could do very well for themselves getting out to an early lead there. They have to go through Cognitive NA. Recently, they're the ones who took down the NA finals as well. So, yeah. Oh man, raise your Jeff Hindlas. Raise your Jeff Hindlas indeed. I mean, what a steal that was. I mean, morale killer.
I mean, he did. Oh my God, that steal. What's crazy is they stopped fighting the Fire Giant. Had everyone just ignored Jeff and just burned it down to 25%, they would have been able to steal it or solo, just take it down with the Hand of the Gods before Jeff was even close enough. But they panicked. They didn't have the communication. There was probably multiple calls going on. They went for the defense. Jeff worked his way through the ranks, grabbed the football, found a hole, touchdown.
Well, they kept on rotating in and out, right?
Yeah.
Like they had like only 2 people hitting the Fire Giant at any time as they rotated Athena out to try to lock him down and then Guan Yu out. I think the actual misplay there was actually on the back of Lassus. After he CC'd him down, didn't move back in to fight the Fire Giant as Tyr was locking down the Guan Yu. So they just weren't able to get him close enough. And then when the big abilities, I think the Raw Snipe came through to take him into range, Jeff Hindla was just in right place, right time.
So, guys, we're going to cut to a quick break here. We're going to check in with the admins, and then, of course, we're going to be back with Game 1 of the Best of 3 and finals of the first week of the Road to the 100K SMITE Invitational. Stick around. We're going to be back in a few minutes as we check in and make sure everything gets set up perfectly. But this is going to be a good game. I can't believe that anyone would want to miss this.
Yeah, it's going to be a Best of 3 finals, that's right, between Cognitive Gaming and Denial. Up next, guys, for the finals of this tournament and the first week of the 100K path, as DM mentioned. My name is Cyrus Barton. We'll see you guys in probably about 5 minutes as the teams get ready to go.
my field of view. Maybe I end up with you. I can't recall things I say, so I'm blaming you instead, 'cause that's the last thing I can do. I know that I'll make you believe, I can't let you leave me alone. I know that my time is not right, but I can be sure that tonight you're if I could think things through, if I could change my field of view, maybe I'd end up with you. I can't recall the things I said, so I'm blaming you instead, 'cause that's the last thing I can do. I know that I'll make you believe, I know that I can't let you leave me alone, me alone. I know that my time is not right, but I can be sure that tonight you're not alone, you're not alone.
Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bart, and I am joining DM once again, who will be your cameraman and co-commentator. And we are getting ready to move into the finals here of week number 1 in 2014 qualifications for the $100,000 LAM event at the end of March. There's 8 weeks of qualifying, and this is the first one. So I'll come down to this.
That's
Denial
right.
or Dignitas.
This is going to be the first week's finals, where two extremely hungry teams are going to be battling for that first. Not only the first place money that we see every week, but the seed points, which are undoubtedly the most important thing right now. Those seed points will indicate not only if they're able to get an invitation to the actual invitational, of course, the 100K launch event for SMITE in March, but also who they'll be fighting against. Of course, higher seeds will fight the lower seeds, so you want to be as high as possible to hopefully try to fight the weakest opponents. At least that's how it is on paper, but unfortunately, when you really compare the 4 teams that are going to wind up going, no matter who it is, it's going to wind up being 4 very, very powerful teams.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Like I don't know that there's going to be a bad matchup. It's kind of like the round of 4 that we saw out of the finals this last week, where it was like Last Resort was the weakest opponent in that pool, and they certainly are not a weak NA team. So looking into the game client here, we're underway, and the first ban from Denial is going to be Zeus. We'll see what COG follows up with here. We haven't seen them today.
A Zeus ban?
Who would have seen that coming?
Every single person. I'm pretty sure that Cognitive had the home field advantage here. Have they opted for second pick?
Mm-hmm.
Now
I think so, yeah.
Going to opt to ban out Agni. Okay, smart pick. I think they're going to force them into a really high tier pick, and then maybe try to steal away maybe something like Zhang Kui Athena, something similar. But we saw them first pick Zhang last time. They're not afraid of it. In this case, I'd probably want to get rid of, not force the Mercury ban onto COG. Get rid of something they want to deal with. Take out Apollo. Don't let Barracuda be Barracuda with that character. Take him out.
Well, he'll just play Neath.
I'd much rather have him on Neath.
Yeah, he's pretty deadly there. Wukong.
Snoopy on the field here instead of Rushed.
Oh, that's right. Rush often has to go to work.
Huh.
So a lot of times Snoopy plays in the finals for this team.
I learned something new about Canada today.
They work on Saturdays.
They work at all? I had no idea. I've never.
Yeah, Rush often has to go. Yeah.
I don't often get out of my house, so.
Mercury. It is Sun Wukong gone and Mercury. Okay, so yeah, they do make COG ban out Mercury as you said, but getting rid of Sun Wukong, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're actually. I know exactly what they're afraid of. They do not want to deal with Sun Wukong support.
Yeah,
that,
I mean he's really
Dare
strong.
To Care has been running a lot, but Dare to Care actually is not making an appearance in this. This is Ionic.
Yes, that's right. Dare to Care is unfortunately is currently suspended from play for a little manor injunction. So
again, huh?
it is Ionic that's going to be filling his spot.
Well, Ionic is no slouch. Was definitely one of my strongest picks before PAX, and when I saw that he got replaced going into the PAX Prime event, I'm very. I was a little surprised. I had the great privilege of having him on one of my tier monster teams in one of those fun mini draft tournaments, and me and him worked really well together, and I saw a lot of potential in him. It's good to see him on a top level team again.
Yeah. Ionic, a really, really strong player, definitely, and should be able to fill the role quite well. It's going to be a Thor, so no big surprise here. Thor just kind of came storming, so to speak, onto the North American scene yet again about 3 weeks ago after the changes that put him. Let's see, what was it particularly that cued him off? It was the changes to the teleport active, as well as the. Do you remember what it was? What made Thor fist nerf? That's what it was.
Yeah, well, that and his cooldowns are really long. His damage was pretty low, and recently they got the reduction in cooldown to Mjolnir's Attunement, which allows him to teleport all over the map every 10 seconds. And with Jotun's Wrath, brings that down to 7.5 seconds, which is incredibly short amount of time for such a potent, damaging move that also allows him to, teleport around. I mean, it's pretty strong, but. I actually had the, like I said before, extreme, horrible displeasure of going up against Anderster's Thor yesterday, and my God.
Yeah, it's tough to deal with a properly played Thor. Always has been, really. Like, I mean, even back when he was introduced and we saw him be first pick, first ban potential all the time, and now to surge back onto the scene, it's always been really hard to play against this god, and that's why he never really falls too far out of viability.
Left side, Zhang Apollo, Guan Yu. I like the pickup of Apollo just because, like I said, man, Barracuda with that. They're going to actually save their Hunter pick for last, it seems, as we see a hover onto Ra. More than likely going to be the mid laner here, or maybe even the solo laner. It really depends on what Omega feels like playing him. His character pool is huge. Pon Pon and Snoopy here have 2 picks remaining. Guan Yu, of course, ambiguous, can go into 3 different roles. Zhang Kui has 2 different roles. Apollo generally only 1. But still,
yeah,
they have their pick of the litter here.
Yeah, it's unlikely that they will pick up anything beneath. I want to say Barracuda just shows such a desire to play her when not playing Apollo. They really like the global presence, and I think have come to really kind of rely on that as part of their kit. They do have Thor, who they definitely like getting. So I could see on her a potential here. But it seems like it's probably going to be the Neath. It's gonna be Chang'e and Freya to close out Denial here. So a very magic damage heavy team.
So more than likely Freya jungle, Chang'e going to the solo, Guan Yu playing that support role, going to stick on to Jeff Hindle there with Apollo in the carry in the mid. We're going to see Pain de Vion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see. So I mean, what do you think? Do you think that they'll go for something like an on her and try to? Ooh, it's gonna be Cupid. Okay, so Cupid Sobek, the old Wombo combo lane.
So Cupid can shut down no one.
No one will be shut down.
No one will ever be shut down.
Sorry, we're gonna re-spectate here and
get back in, yeah, in just a second. In the meantime, you get to look at Bart's regular face.
Oh, am I on here? Do I need to turn here? Let me lean into it here.
I was gonna say pretty face, but
just regular face.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy to the chat.
Yeah, you don't want to get them started.
I don't feel like they have enough people lying to them on a daily basis.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Yeah, they have you telling them that these bad strats are good, and then they try them.
Invade every game.
Yeah, they invade every game strat.
That's like a 90% success rate. Like, it's so good. Those 1 in 10 games make me real salty, though, I gotta tell you. Whoa, yeah. Man. Annenster countered me yesterday by invading every game.
Okay, so it looks like blind is good. So we're going to try to get him into a blind pick real quick. And
we have a question from the chat, Bart.
Oh, what's that, chat?
Bart, what's your favorite Sunday?
Has that ever been funny?
Yes, it's funny to me every time.
But there's like 5,000 people here that don't think it's funny.
That's not true. There's so many people.
We need a straw poll for this.
Straw poll. No, we're in the game. Too late.
Oh, bummer. All right, so it is a quick blind pick, guys, and then we'll be getting into it in just a second.
All right, it looks like everyone's picking their stuff here. Snoopy and, of course, Mace to the Face will be swapping gods as they had picked each other's gods. Annister, of course, grabbing that Thor. Cupid onto Barracuda here. I've actually not seen too much of his Cupid in competitive play, and I'm actually pretty excited to see this.
Yeah, Cupid Sobek is definitely not hard to figure out. If you're not a very, successful or comfortable Cupid player, right? It's a toss into a bomb. Cupid does a great job of being a safe kind of range carry player. He can do a really good job of putting down heart. If he's smart, you can put down heart bombs out as kind of like landmines and kind of cover your escape if there's minions there. And he has a great dash, and he has a very, very large team fight impacting ultimate that can make the enemy team blow some beads. So all in all, Cupid has the tools to be a really, really great pick in any team, but he just doesn't seem to have the same damage output as the other carries.
Right, but at the same time, he also has the ability to lock down a team fight. I mean, that potential there is so strong. It allows him to really get his team in position, especially characters like Tyr, who need a lot of positioning to get things done. Now, granted, Zhang Kui, not affected once in Recalled Demons. Apollo is going to be able to use Across the Sky to get out. Guan Yu can Warhorse. Freya can use Valkyrie's Discretion, and Chang'e can just dance all around.
Yeah. That's, it's going to be tough to stop. Zhang Kui, we'll see if Mesa Face is as effective as he was in the last game. If he's able to disrupt just as well and has a Gem of Isolation, kind of proccing on everybody and keeping them, soft CC during that fight, maintaining that slow, It's really tough. I mean, in fact, this is a pretty similar lineup to what Denial ran in the last game. I mean, they get a lot of the same gods. They have the same kind of core here. What really turned that game for them: Freya, Zhang Kui, Guan Yu. What they don't have here is the is that big time Loki plays coming out of the jungle. But they'll have Pon Pon out of the jungle with Freya. So plenty of damage there. Pain of Beyond going back to the old Apollo role for him. You get the present you always wanted.
I don't like presents though.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Not really.
I want to see what Snoopy's going to do here. We've seen a lot of Chang'e today, a character that has kind of fallen from graces after her the cries of OP rained down from the Reddit and the chat. But recently, I think she's found kind of a good role where she's able to do a decent amount of damage, control enough, push waves, and make sure that she has enough presence in team fights as well to make the enemy team position the way that she might want them to. Now, like we talked about, Cupid has a huge AoE that's going to cripple people, possibly mesmerize, possibly even stun, depending on how many stacks he have on Love Struck from his passive. But Chang'e offers a very similar thing. She, just by standing there, will force people to separate and part to ensure that multiple people aren't getting hit by Waxing Moon. Now, for those of you who don't know, she sends out a shockwave. For every person it hits, the stun duration increases for the subsequent targets. First person takes a second, second person takes 2 seconds, all the way up to 5. It should be noted, though, that Tyr can safely stand in the back and only incur a 1-second stun, as his passive allows him to only be stunned for 1 second, which is, I think, incredibly underrated.
Yeah, I think that's really a lot of what makes him so good. If you think about Tyr and why he's always so dangerous and seems to be so high priority, outside of his just general high level ability to maintain solo lanes and damage output that he can do, it's the fact that he's so hard to lock down with the double dashing out of the stances with that 1-second stun duration maximum. It's just really hard to burst him. So a lot of times he turns around on you, doing more damage than you thought he could, like earlier than you thought he'd be able to CC you again. So a lot of times he catches gods that are trying to kind of out CDR race him with that. But we are in the game here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and introduce your teams. The blue team fighting out the bottom of the mini-map. They are Denial, coming off a win over Dignitas to make it to the finals. Pon Pon Ulala in the jungle as Freya. Mace of the Face will be Zhang Kui in mid. Snoopy Man will be your solo lane. Chang'e, Pendavion, and Jeff Hinla will combine for the Apollo Guan Yu dual lane. And they are up against Cognitive NA. They are the #1 team in North America currently, formerly known as Exertus, picked up by Cognitive. They are Barracuda and Ionic combining for Cupid Sobek in the duo. MLC Stealth in the mid lane as Ra, and it's their jungle with Thor, and MLC's Omega will be Tyr, and we may have a 5-man fight here early. Ionic finds a pick onto Jeff Hinla. Will the famous Jeff Hinla be able to get out of this? It looks like he will for now. He always seems to make his way out.
Another
thing to
get
note,
first blood on Denial.
No,
It
it's
just
impossible.
doesn't work.
Their passive is impossible to get first blood on. But what I wanted to note is also one thing about Cupid that we didn't mention is that his burst damage is the highest. He has one of the highest damaging ability in the games in Heart Bomb.
Yeah.
Hits twice, very high scaling on both hits. I think combined max rank for about 700 plus base with 10 hearts. I think it's really strong.
Not to mention, there also is a huge attack speed swing after he uses Flutter, and Fields of Love actually hits for like a ton. He is very high damaging, and it should be pretty. I mean, you should be very nervous trying to approach, especially a Sobek Cupid lane. Now, for those of you who have joined SMITE in the recent months and have not been around since the beginning, the Sobek Cupid lane is the stuff of legends. Originally considered the first truly broken lane. Of course, since then, Sobek and Cupid have incurred multiple nerfs to stop them from stomping on absolutely everything. But in recent days, with the slow added back to Heart Bomb, and with Sobek just being Sobek, it's kind of come back into favor. Maybe not as much as you think. You see things like Athena. Oh, but Ionic actually goes for the pull here. Pendavion in a lot of trouble. They're trying to go for it. So Beautiful has been used. Only level 1. That is going to be first blood. There's nowhere for him to go. Jeff Himla trying to body block, but he walks himself back into Archers. And the question is, can they pick up 2? And they can. First blood, second blood, both go to Cog.
Yeah, really strong stuff. Barracuda, Ionic combined for a kill in this duo lane here. A double kill, in fact. And what a huge advantage that yields. It's the levels that really even matter more than the gold necessarily. Sure, getting the Heartseeker early is a big deal on the Cupid, especially getting it over Apollo, who out-auto-attacks him. But the fact that they're both going to be nearly level 4 versus level 1, Pendavion and Jeff Hinla, is a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, they got almost an entire wave into the tower. The second one's already starting to strip away, and they're losing a lot of resources here. And given the fact that they have to split that experience, it's going to cripple them. Mid lane, you see Mace has already been crippled as well, sitting above half, and that's after he's already healed himself once. It looks like wait, what happened?
That's a pause. Game pause.
How do they do that?
They paused the game.
You're not fun. Ionic has DC'd. Snoopy on the right side has control over Omega, who's getting pretty greedy here, but level 3 ensures that he can use Power Cleave and Blue Stance to heal himself up a fair amount. Left side, Anister still sitting maybe a little bit low, but I don't think he has much to worry about. Minute 35 here on the clock, so we should see the respawn of the left mid camp here in about 20 seconds. Top side, Barracuda and Ionic have a free trip with very little loss going up here for the blue buff, which I think they're going to be putting onto Ionic here, but not 100%.
Look at the orange buff on the blue side. This ogre is posed. I mean, pointing them out, pointing to the fences here.
Let me see.
Do you see this? I mean, this is beautiful.
Whoa. They're all looking at something on the ground. Do you see?
Yeah, he's pointing it out. But all right, so we are wait though.
They were all the big one was looking at the medium one one's looking at the small one, and the small one's just looking directly into the ground. That's fun.
Yeah, so, but we are underway here, guys, approaching 2 minutes, and it is, in favor of COG right now, 700 gold and 500 experience. And why not? They found that early double kill, so how do they deal with that level disparity? Well, you look over at Pentagon, he's already sitting at level 3, Barracuda just hitting 4, so Denial does a really, really nice job of finding that experience in the lane and the blue buff to get themselves back into the mix in terms of levels in that lane.
Look at the positioning here, ensuring they can't take, I guess, the fastest way to the tower. Some of this experience will be lost here. It looks like 2 points of gold. What in the world? Fields of Love has been used. Not 100% why he would do that there, but it looks like the tower is going to take 5 of those 6 creeps. In the mid lane here, Snoopy picks up Anister, and now we're going to see a pick on the Pompon Ooh La La, so that's going to be a 1-for-1 there. Mace not really in position, still not level 5, so no ultimate available. Right side, Snoopy's rotating back as the tower begins to pressure. Left side, Cupid continues his barrage into this tower. Not too much damage done in the early game, but still a lot of damage and a lot of gold being stripped away here. And you can see reflected now 900 gold ahead. Cognitive is really starting to take control.
Yeah, Barracuda feels really confident over here, using his Heart Bomb just to farm up. Going to get some damage from Jeff Hinla, but without that ultimate, Barracuda could easily turn this around. Once he gets the Heart Stacks up to 5, a Fields of Love into Heart Bomb combo will probably 100-0 Pain to Beyond.
Anister in the top side here going for the red buff. One shot from Ionic ensuring that he's getting some of the experience, which might actually put him to level 5. Yes, it does. In the base, he hits level 5. Strong play for him. Left side, they're pressuring Barracuda enough to at least back him off for now, but still level 6 comparatively to Pain to Beyond. Level 4 should be hitting 5. Yeah, there it goes right there. But still, I mean, they have a very strong lead early on, and they gotta press this. I mean, if one character should be pressuring early on, it's Thor. He gets passive damage massively, has a great ultimate, but here, it looks like Anvil of Dawn's going to be going up. MLC Stealth already super low. Valkyrie's Discretion picks it off. Where is the Anvil of Dawn? Thor actually retreats here. Ionic's in trouble. Does he have Charge Prey available to him? Yes, he does, and he will get out, but still, they managed to catch one there, and that's enough to make them just a little bit closer, but still the gold difference continues to not wane as Barracuda on the left side continues to pressure, is going to try to push something out here. Not a lot of mana, but he does have that passive available to him to ensure he gets the stun here. Will he pressure? Pain of Beyond has used it.
Oh.
There's the Fields of Love. Doesn't. Oh, it does tick. I don't think he had the mana for Heart Bomb, which could have been the kill.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have the positioning. The mana, I doubt either. Yeah, so close for Barracuda. If you would have been able to mez him just a little bit earlier, if you would have seen him maybe coming out of the jungle and put it there as the dash came out and would have mezzed him next to all those minions, it may have been enough to get that kill. But with no Heart Bomb, unfortunately, unable to secure it. But still, farm secured here for Mr. Barracuda. Heartseeker done, boots 1. He's ready to roll into the farming phase of this game, and he's looking really, really good. I mean, it's stranger things have happened than Cupid's carrying games.
So Cupid's a strange character because he needs attack speed desperately to be able to get those extra passives off to get the stun. Every other character has those things inherent in their kit. Of course, Apollo only really gaining attack speed. Nice weaves are put down manually, or of course picked off on death. Artemis just landing a few attacks builds her crit, and then of course Shibalanke builds it with kills. I think Cupid's the only one that desperately needs to have that extra attack speed to ensure that he can get those stuns off. So I'm interested to see what Barracuda is going to be going into next. More than likely we'll see Chin's Blades, but after that, I mean, there's so many different builds for Cupid. Some people like Jotun's Wrath for the extra stuns and extra Fields of Love. Some people like going into the attack speed. Items like Executioner. So it'll be interesting to see what they go for. But for right now, it looks like we have the makings of a team fight.
Yeah, Denial, Mesa face up in front, has the ultimate available. They're going to lift Ionic. No way they can secure kill on a Sobek at this point, though. Going to eat a Robin for their trouble. That's going to proc a Thor ultimate. And here he comes ready to go in. Pon taking that buff camp. Surely they can see Anister now. He's still going to go in. He's going to miss Jeff Hindla, though, who just dashes out of the way as he sees him coming down. Jeff Hindla still making plays.
800 gold separates the teams in favor of Cognitive, but at the same time there is a 500 gold, 500 experience disparity rather, in favor of Denial. So the game pretty close to even at this point. Ward coverage pretty even. All lanes, no one seems to be having a ton of trouble now that Pain de Vion has found more of a voice, but it should be noted that Barracuda has a 2-level experience difference over Pain de Vion, and yet Denial seems to have the experience difference in their lead, so they need to start using that to their advantage. As of right now, it just seems like the left lane is just pressuring a little bit too much. Jeff Hindla gets pulled. Heart Bomb already used to clear there, so not too much threat, but at the same time, you can see they're still backing off here because the creeps are already pushed.
Yeah, there's not much they can really do under the tower. I mean, Barracuda has really just been primarily trying to keep them pushed up. It seems like Sobek only rotating over when the lane starts moving back towards their side. So Heart Bomb's being used with very little very little prejudice here. It looks like, just kind of all the time, anytime. And Fields of Love maybe should be coming out a little more often as well. Just try to start whittling down Pain de Vion and just keep that experience advantage squarely in your favor.
Mace to the face going to find Ionic here. 4 members of COG rotating for these mid camps. The card goes down. Not sure who got those there, but Fields of Love is going to be wasted. Oh my god, Anister getting blown up, getting chased into the tower, and there's Pain. Finds a voice and is able to burn him down. Barracuda has the card on 1 hit, should be able to finish him off, but I don't think they're going to find it. Chase into Mace is going to earn them a kill as well. It's 2 for 1 as they got a little bit over aggressive. Great dodging coming out from Barracuda keeps him alive, but Denial showing they're not afraid to team fight. Still, experience difference in favor of Denial, gold difference in favor of COG, and the game continues.
Yeah, what a game so far. I mean, we've had just great games today. A little under 1,000 gold in favor of Cognitive. The XP, as you mentioned, a little under 1,000 in favor of Denial. So, all things told, fairly squared out here. Lots of pen boots coming out for Denial. They're working towards their core items now. Fatalis for Pon, Snoopy going Breastplate of Valor. It's going to be the focus Void Stone for Mace to the face. Pain de Vion still looking for the Heartseeker to get finished. In there, he just gets it. Barracuda, in the meantime, has some good stacks on his. Likely full 2-0 and 1 KDA, doing pretty well for himself. Pestilence Boots done on Omega. And it's going to be the Void Stone core for MLC Stealth. So all around the map, the players are starting to get into those builds. And who do you think has the better kind of 3-item timing in terms of these God picks?
It's hard to say because they're going for different builds this time. Like you called out earlier, you wanted to see the Pestilence against Chang'e, and there it is. I mean, then right into Boots after that, I maybe Voidblade, maybe Jotuns. I mean, there's different things that he can do. But overall, I mean, right now, it seems like it's going to go to Denial. Heartseeker's super cheap. Fatalis is super cheap. Mid lane, Recall Demons is used. Stealth is gone! And now they have a chance to maybe make a counter here with Charge Praise at the tower. Anister is there, but is forced to blink out. A free kill right there for Denial. Puts them ahead 5-4. Free mid camps as well. Still gold difference in favor of COG. And the experience difference actually not shoving by too much, but at the same time, they're showing that their voice is loud and it will be heard. Taking a look at the board here, Hand of the Gods. Nobody has level 3 at this point, of course, given the fact that we're below 14 minutes. Level 2 will not matter. Great dash coming out to stop the teleport in from Jeff, who's rotating over to the side. He actually might get picked off here. Barracuda, he actually walks back in to the Heart Bomb, or rather the Fields of Love, and kills himself. Forces the reset out. Barracuda by himself allows this, and they don't even realize that they're going to try to counter. This is a huge swing for COG.
Yeah, COG is going to find a lot of gold here. In fact, they've already started to bring the gold, back up as denial, but now with the pickup of the Gold Fury, 1,800 gold in favor of Cognitive Gaming. Experience is going to be dropping down as well to nearly even, just about a buff camp away from each other. So, yeah, there you go. You see it at 60. So now all of a sudden, Cog sitting on 2,000 gold advantage with experience dead equal. And now the question is, can Andesser become a factor in this game? With those big plays, even though he's sitting a little bit low on levels compared to Pon, can he find a way to really start disrupting this game from Thor?
You know, he didn't opt for the Heartseeker start, goes right into boots, maybe more of a bruiser build he's looking for. But at the same time, it's Thor. You know, we've talked about this a few times today, where Thor gets that extra damage from his passive, whereas Freya's getting lifesteal, so it's possible. Left side, Barracuda does have the stun available. Pain to Beyond will be stunned here. He is out. I don't think there's going to be any pressure here.
So it's a pause.
Yeah.
Into another pause. All right, so this is an actual pause. Sorry, I had word from the admins on that one. So, yep, looks like we are going to have a bit of a pause. Ionic having some connection issues. As you see, he is DC'd out currently, I guess for laggings or whatnot. But Pon finished his Hasten Fatalis there before that fight. And, as you were saying, like, Fatalis is a very cheap item. So Pon gets there really quickly, has boots, Bumbas, and the Hasten Fatalis. Now, what do you think about going this item over Demonic Grip? And we've seen Fatalis really, since Hasten Fatalis came out, become the overwhelming second item for Freya's over Demonic Grip. Is it really that much better?
Well, it's going to allow him to chase super, super hard. The only difference, really, because it winds up being very close in terms of how much damage you can put out. Of course, Demonic Grip giving you the extra penetration, but slower attack speed, doesn't allow you to chase as hard. But Hasten Fatalis will make your ultimate weaker comparatively to Demonic Grip. So it's a toss-up. It really depends on what you're already going for. Taking a look at the board, we see a Sovereignty coming out, of course. So that's going to give them a little bit of magical protection once it's finished. Pestilence has been picked up as well. So maybe he's looking to chase someone like Barracuda down, who has, Flutter. He's not going to use the ultimate as much for that damage until he's already super low. He wants to stay as close as possible, continue that boxing match, and ensure that if he does flutter, he can chase up without getting put into that movement penalty that, of course, would be incurred otherwise had he not bought Hasten Fatalis.
Right. Yeah. It seems on paper to be such a good item, but Demonic Grip gives you so much more utility in terms of your ultimate. Fatalis doesn't really add much there. So it's tough to say, it's the kind of thing that you seem to have to invest into before you really know what kind of game it's going to be.
Sorry, real quick, Bart, just so everyone knows, the admin says deemed this not an engagement. I don't think anyone really had other thoughts about that, but just to make sure it's clear, he's already out. They're not going to be able to defend on that. So good stuff.
Okay, yeah. Smiley faces for us now. Hey,
how nice.
Hey, well done. Not a flower, a smiley face. Now with a unibrow. So, it's nice though. It's a nice gesture. So Andesser going to have a speed buff here coming out of it as Thor. I mean, what do you think about it? It's a pretty big level disadvantage for Andesser here. I mean, look at the XP a minute. At 393 for Thor and 462 XP a minute for Pon. So, getting the better of him by quite a bit.
Which is not something a lot of people can say over the past couple months. I don't think there's been a lot of games where Andesser has been the talking point of being behind. Usually super far ahead with his advanced invade strats. But, he has a chance to make this back. Thor having a decent mid-game regardless of his level, so long as he can stay alive. I mean, he has a lot of CC potential. Anvil of Dawn has a huge stun. Tectonic Rift can stun from far away. Berserker Barrage scales very well just by being level 9. Mjolnir's Attunement has a very short cooldown, which can either do damage or move him into positions that he wants to be in. So, I mean, he has a pretty decent game. Much better than, let's say, Freya would have if Freya were to be super far behind, because the damage really is just all scaling.
Yeah, I wonder if there's really going to be a really big opportunity for Andesser to get back into this game. And as you mentioned, I can think of one game in which he was behind. He was playing a Fenrir and did get a bit behind, but was able to pull it out. Going more of a bruiser build. So maybe that's what he's thinking here as well. Is that he's just going to go for more of that bruiser style. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get beads 3 early over the fist, and really just try to maybe even a Magi's Blessing, right? Be able to initiate for his team and not die immediately, and be able to maybe use his stun or his Tectonic Rift maybe 2 or 3 times in a fight. So maybe more cooldown and probably a Magi's or even a Bulwark to get out of this would be my guess. All
right, so it looks like we're still waiting here. Do we have any word from the admins?
Yeah, the total pause time was about 3 minutes for this one, so
Okay.
it should be any moment now.
I don't have the ability to move forward any farther. If you want to tell people about what could be your perfect Sunday, we have some time.
Yeah, I've been waiting. Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this.
Oh, game on pauses, thank God.
And all the pings go off, the big shiny smiley face goes down, and we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, it is 11 minutes into the game. 5-5 is the score, but the gold very heavily in favor of Cognitive right now. It is Cognitive as the red team, Denial as the blue team in a best-of-3 finals.
Right
and
here.
welcome to the broadcast.
Right here, Bart. That is the power of Barracuda. He walks up and they reset that buff like it's nothing. They don't even realize that he has no mana. None. I mean, he had nothing to contend. He had maybe a heart bomb, which could have actually been a flutter. I mean, if he chose to use Fields of Love and they walked out of it, they could have engaged on the mid lane for free right there. But right now, you know, that's the power of pressure. That's the power of getting those early kills. Tectonic Rifts used. Banished is missed. Mjolnir's attunement hits 2 on the way back, but not enough damage. This will be free mid camps if it happens to respawn. You see Omega coming over as well, I think just for the rotation. Snoopy pushing an entire wave in there. It looks like the Gladiator minion is there, but it's not going to be the first one in, so he'll lose about 2 creeps there. Even so, look at the aggressive positioning come out. Left side, we see the carries going at it, but right here, they're still waiting for this mid-camp as these creeps... Actually, mid-camp finally respawns as they retreat away from it. We see a rotation over. Will Stealth just opt to snipe it? No, he takes the safe route out there. Nothing to be gained.
Tier getting some nice pressure on to the Tier 1 over here in the right, though. I mean, it's... In the matchup of Tyr versus Chang'e, if you get a sequence of 3 full hit strings onto the tower, you're in a good spot. But now, Omega forced to ult out of there, and he's going to be fine. So a wasted rotation.
Yeah, I mean, forcing out the Lawbringer isn't really that big of a deal against a character like Chang'e. She can't really follow up as hard, whereas forcing out a Waxing Moon would be kind of deadly. She's going to be forced to use it here. Gets the double stun. Luckily for her, the second person hit was Ionic, which ensures that the passive doesn't apply. But look at this left lane. 2 major damage dealers burning this tower down. That's going to bring them up to a 3k lead. Actually, it looks like they're going to back off here. Looks like they were kind of afraid. Mace did a face going to find it. Anvil of Dawn is going to have to be procced here. Does he have it?
He used it to kill the Apollo under tower with
yes, he did.
With Mr. Cupid there. So 1 kill traded for a kill. They take out Apollo again, really securing Barracuda's rest of the game in terms of the 1v1 versus that Hunter. So you know it's kind of important to get that going because it forces the support to rotate over here. So Jeff Hinla shouldn't be as big of a factor in the early parts of the mid game as he was in the last game. Barracuda just walks in and auto attacks that tower now on his way out. Pon ultimate being used, but it's not going to be enough.
Same thing happened on right side. Walked in, took out the tower. Flutter only a few seconds away here. Nice heart bomb for the double slow. It feels the love. Turns it around. And now 1v1 right now. Oh, but there is actually a 2v1 as he gets the rotation. Barracuda trying to get something. The dash has been used. Ionic is there with the protection. But oh, look at this. Does he have the damage across the sky? Lands.
Oh!
Look at MLC Stealth. Super accurate. Card misses. Tectonic Rift stun. Forcing him into Recall Demons. He doesn't have the damage to kill them. Raw heal down. Snoopy's there, but no Waxing Moon. We saw him use it to escape before. They will turn this around, but Barracuda, by the grace of God, escapes that fight, and they earn 2 kills and 2 towers in the process.
They're going to keep going. Thor in the air. Omega over the wall. Coming in with the Anvil of Dawn. Down will go Mace to the face here as the hammer comes back. Well placed by Anister. Just trying to keep away from Snoopy. Going to stun him out and try to kite Anister if he survives this. I don't know how he's going to do it. Yeah, that's going to clean him up. Snoopy likely to fall for it. Jeff Hinla going to look to disrupt. They only need 1 more ability to land onto the Chang'e. Easier said than done, but they find it with the detonation of Divine Light. And the continued engagement from Cognitive NA is a good one. They heal up in the beam and fall back while Barracuda pressures the Tier 1 in mid.
And he's getting a lot of damage on it as well. We're going to have to see a flutter here. He doesn't realize that Guan's behind him, but he doesn't even need to. Pon explodes in a field of love as the heart bomb brings him down to his, I think, 3rd death for the game. Yes, and now Barracuda's going to have a chance to even burn this tower down alone as Jeff Hinla realizes he has no threat against possibly the strongest carry right now in North America. Barracuda, unbelievable plays throughout this game. 6-0-3, 2 towers to his name, and we're only 15 minutes in.
Voidstone on Pon. Just, against Ra and Sobek? I don't know.
That's rough.
I don't know. I don't think that's enough magic damage to warrant that, and Cupid just exploded him. Like, how often do you see the range carry at, 15 minutes into the game go up against Freya and go, yeah, let's just, like, stay in an auto attack. Let's have an auto attack race Freya. And it didn't even look close. Now, Barracuda gonna eat up some heart bombs and stay in this fight. He just is so far ahead, it doesn't matter. He's gonna crush Pon again. Bye, Pon. Down he goes, standing in the heel. Now, Snoopy, why not? Double kill coming out for Barracuda. 3 down for Denial, and I don't know if they can survive this. Yet another kill coming the way.
Jeez.
There goes the triple for Cupid. If you were wondering if Cupid is a viable pick in high-level competitive play, the answer here is yes, as Barracuda has taken over the finals.
You know, that was basically a 4v5 as well. Check it out, Anister on the right side, not only clearing the wave with that proxy push, but has also possibly earned himself a tier 2. There's no rotation coming. That's another 1,500 gold added to the coffers. Cognitive, 10,000 gold ahead at 16 minutes, and it's only getting bigger because there's the Gold Fury. They're going to back up here, spend some of that money that they have hard-earned, and look at this. Barracuda, 2,300 in hand, 2,400 in hand. MLC Stealth was sitting at 17. MLC Omega sitting at 2K. Ionic sitting at 2K, and it's only getting worse for them. You gotta feel for for Denial right now. This might be a situation where you maybe cut your losses in game 1, go back to the drawing board, and look for a counter position in game 2. Because I just don't see this one happening.
Yeah, Anis are going to be forced to Anvil Dawn out of there. They got a little too aggressive, I think. Going to move over to the mid lane here, but when you look at what Cupid is doing here, it's the Heart Bomb into Kin size combo that's really ripping through these gods. So much base damage on the Heart Bomb is putting them down to where Chin size is just crushing. I mean, you saw Pon there in that engagement where he was putting damage out and they were racing over in the jungle. That the chunks that were being taken out of him were immense. The one auto attack on the Mace of the Face as they chased down Zhang Kui behind the mid tower, tier 2 mid tower, were huge chunks as well. And so that attack speed buff from Flutter, coupled with the chin size and the attack speed that it grants, along with the amount of base damage he can put out to get them to where those procs are big, is just silly for Barracuda right now. The level advantage is just putting him into this untradeable position as this team fight rages on. Mace of the Face going to ultimate here. MLC Stealth is just kiting around in the beams. Ionic and Omega are there in the back lines. There's a big Fields of Love that's going to prevent them from falling back into the tower gracefully, but doesn't seem to be enough for Cognitive to really turn this fight. Denial surging back well. Anis are in trouble. Barracuda slowed, likely to get out of here. It looks like Pon going to pay for his overextension to pick up Thor with his life as well, but a 2-for-1 trade for Denial. If they can find a mid tower out of this somehow, they'll be in a really good spot.
You know, I'm almost getting tired of watching Barracuda escape out of these 4-man pushes that he winds up putting himself in. And look at this. There's another kill for Barracuda. 10-0-4. The guy is insane right now. And there's damage you can't contest with. Attack speed here, attack speed here, attack speed here. Not to mention, all of those things stack up to give him that Heart Seeker, or rather that Heart Bomb passive stun, and then he heals himself back up to almost full. They could really and realistically go for Fire Giant right now, but it looks like Barracuda has other things in mind as he rotates over to the left side. Not sure what he's looking for, but he is the first level 20 in the game coming out of the duo lane, 19 minutes in. I just don't know how to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, he was warding over there just on the other side of the tier 1, but it looks like they think that they can take the Fire Giant as well here. Don't see any wards around. Don't see big movements as they make their way over. Pon going to sniff it out. Barracuda and Omega hunting for kills, but oh man, Omega's going to go in now, looking for the initiation, not going to find it. Fire Giant started on the backside, and Barracuda and Omega just have to rotate back in. Yeah, it looks like Denial just kind of believed their feint that they weren't going to go for it.
I don't know how they could even with the steal. I mean, we've seen Jeff Hemlet do it. He's nowhere even close to this. Mace to the Face jumps in. Recall Demons activated. He gets the stun from Book of Demons, but it doesn't actually apply. 2 people already CC immune. Ionic goes down. Valkyrie's Discretion burning down Barracuda. This is their chance. Cognitive still manages to take it. Barracuda's super low right now. Will he be able to get out of this with the help of Anister? They're trying to do something here. They're trying to push Pon on the other side, trying to help him out. They do find the kill over there on the right side. 2 members remain here. The Fire Giant regeneration was too much for them to deal with. Pon looking for the banish, but it gets coupled out there. Only 1 person remains right now for Cog, and there's no chance of escape.
Oh man, Mjolnir's Attunement just did 700 damage to Zhang Kui there.
Jeez
Louise. And those procs from chin size, 60 damage a pop coming out of Barracuda. And here comes the Omega taunt spam. You know it and you love it. And here comes the Phoenix push as well. Denial up against the ropes here as Cognitive is just rolling.
So, just so you guys understand there, Barracuda was the one to tank that for a little while. And the reason is because he gets to sit right on the edge there, shooting from max range. He takes a few hits, allow the Phoenix damage to start stacking on him. And after 3 or 4 shots, he backs off, resets it to one of the bruisers, and then will use his lifesteal to bring himself back up to full. It's like he never even did it. Great play again coming out from Cog, even in these minor engagements. And Denial, 13 kills down right now, 15k gold down, 18k experience. Now, they don't have a Phoenix. They have one Tier 1 remaining, and the Fire Giant's gone.
Yeah, there's not much they can really do here to try to, like, there's not really the comeback mechanic objectives available on the map for them to take. They've just been secured by Cognitive. And the thing is, it's not very often that you say, you know, oh, at 20 minutes in the game, that Gold Fury, if they get the Gold Fury, it's not going to really matter, but it really doesn't matter. Like, 15,000 gold advantage, them getting an extra 1,500 isn't really going to help much out. I mean, granted, they do have a Freya late game that, you know, can potentially pan out, but Barracuda is going to be able to just crush Freya at all stages for the rest of this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, like, we have her 5 levels behind. Polly has just gotten started. Barracuda sitting very close to full build. In hand gold right now. If he were to sell that Death Toll, the Executioner is finished. He has level 1 sprint for those extra chases and escapes. Now they're just to add insult to injury, ensure there's no comeback potential in the next couple minutes. The Gold Fury's getting taken. 16,500. Cog NA seems unstoppable.
Yeah, just insult to injury there. You got a red buff onto Yannick. That's how far ahead they are. Sobek with the red buff, because why not? Why not get a little extra scaling out of your ultimate there? So he's gonna go in deep, and Jeff Hindla is gonna do the same on the other side. Anister up into the air. Yannick channeling his ultimate, taking a lot of damage from the tower. They're trying to burst down stealth, but it's not enough. Fields of Love on the backside are going to do a lot of work. Pain to Beyond doing a great job juggling stealth. They want to take him down first. It looks like they're gonna invest a lot into Ra, and they will end up taking him out, but not enough to pick up Barracuda. Boo, that's a really big knock up there by the tier. Jeff Hindla gonna fall as well. A 2-player kill on the back of that. Anister rips right through Pain to Beyond, and now it's Pon forced to run for his life. Barracuda, do you have a heart bomb for the slow? He's gonna eat a couple of hearts there, heal back up, take the tower, and they're gonna roll in for their second Phoenix of the game. Potentially the victory here for Cognitive.
They have the time to do it still. Oh, surrender
GG.
vote has been started. Surrender vote goes through. GG, game 1. Looks like it's going to be going to Cog.
Wow, Barracuda. 14 kills, no deaths.
What do you do?
When was the last time you saw that?
What do you do? And this is not a fluke. This is not a game where, oh, wow, Barracuda did well. I'm so surprised. This is every game we see this guy play. He's constantly putting up these numbers. And it's incredible because 6 months ago, this guy didn't even exist in the competitive scene. He appeared maybe 3-4 months ago, right?
Yeah. I mean,
boom.
It was like he played, and then he got picked up for Exertus. He had one really big game for the original team he played for, and then Exertus picked him up. And since then, there's really been no looking back. I mean, he really defined Neath play for about a month.
Yeah.
Like, no one was doing things that he was doing with Neath. And now, no one's really doing things that he's doing with whatever god he picks.
25k damage. Almost doubling everyone in the game except for Mace with that Recall Demons, able to put up 19,000, but no one else was even close. Looking at the other carry here, we see Pain de Vion sitting at 10k, Pompon Ulala sitting at 10,000 as well. There's just no trying to stop this guy. Going into game 2, what do you do? Do you ban Cupid? I mean, he can play any of the hunters efficiently, and it's still my opinion that Apollo is the character you don't want him to have, so what do? Do you just pressure him all game? Try to shut him down and let Anister get big?
I don't know. Maybe you take a more aggressive ganking jungler than Freya, something like a Fenrir or an Athena or something with a little more control, and try to shut down that lane. But anything you're doing is probably too much, considering that you have Anister and Omega on the other side of the map, as well as Stealth, that if you don't shut their lanes down or their position down, could just as easily take the game over. It's a very strong team.
I was actually pretty surprised to see Anister falling so far behind. I thought that maybe we'll spell curtains for the team, but Omega didn't die, Barracuda didn't die, and then of course we have MLC Stealth. 6k healing is modest, but it's big enough. Not to mention we saw 3,300 coming out as healing from Barracuda's hearts. That's team healing.
Yeah, Cupid, I mean, when you get that much physical power on Cupid, the hearts just start really healing you up quite nicely, as long as you're not building HP, of course. Then they don't do as much. But at the end of the day, you know, it was a decisive victory for COG. I mean, once they wrestled hold of that game and got that 2,000 gold advantage, it snowballed really quickly into about a 20k. So congratulations to them. Cognitive takes game number 1 here in the finals, DM. We'll be moving on to game number 2 to see if they can secure it in 2 or if Denial will surge back and force a third game. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a quick break here to get the players all ready and back into the game, and then we will be coming back to you with game number 2 in the finals, Cognitive Gaming versus Denial. For DM Brandon, my name is Jair Esbart, and we'll see you guys all in just a few minutes.
You have goals to achieve, but the road you take a broad and hard. The ones you make it matter when you throw stones. Can you see that I am human, I am breathing, that you don't give a damn? Oh, can you feel my heart beating? You don't see it. My heart is beating. Ooh. Can you feel it?
Thank you so much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. My name is High Res Bart, and I am joining DM Brandon, who will be your cameraman and co-commentator today. And we are excited to bring you game number 2 in a best-of-3 finals between Denial and Cognitive Gaming North America. Game 1 went heavily in favor of Cognitive, carried by Barracuda.
Yeah. And they're opting again. It looks like, actually, the first turn, it was in favor of Cog. They had the decision to opt for second pick, and it looks like Denial, with their choice, will opt for first pick. So everyone seems to be on the same page here. Zeus banned out. There goes Agni. I would take out... you know what? I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you
against
ban?
this team. Stealth has an infinite player pool. Omega can play anybody. Ionic is comfortable on anyone. Barracuda just went 14-0 with Cupid. So it doesn't matter what you ban. I think the only choice here is don't ban Mercury and hope that they don't ban Mercury, and then maybe Pon can get it. I think that's their only real early game strategy. Banning Thor is good.
Yeah, Thor wasn't a huge factor, but certainly can be. Oh my goodness, what is Cog going to do here? So they could leave Merc, right? But that
Take
so
away
if they leave, yeah, that's right. That's what it'd be. Leave Merc, take Zhang.
They should have banned Zhang in that case.
That's what I think. I think that the right ban here would have been Zhang from Denial.
Yeah, that would have been really strong. There goes Mercury. First pick, more than likely going to be Zhang Kui. Sobek, of course, Athena, both still on the table. But yeah, a little discussion here necessary. No Isis, go into Zhang.
Tier Vulcan, for sure. No, it's going to be Tier and...
I think Vulcan's good.
I bet you it's going to be Tier Guan Yu. Or maybe Wukong.
Vulcan's not very good.
No? Not a fan?
Tier getting grabbed here. Barracuda has, normally I would say maybe he picks up Apollo here, but it's very clear to me that he does not need it. In this case, he has the opportunity to pick up pretty much anything. They're going to take away Guan Yu. Very ambiguous, can be put in multiple different roles, so I think that's a very strong first pick.
Yeah. Yeah, so they do take the Guan Yu tier. They leave. They do leave on the board, Sobek and some other of the strong Guardians, even Wukong. I would expect Wukong picked up here, potentially even for the solo lane. Jeff Hinla, probably Bacchus, definitely his next strongest god after Guan Yu. But it is going to be some Wukong, and I imagine they'll take their range carry here as well, whatever they want. Probably Apollo. They probably want to keep that away from Mr. Kuda.
The boxing potential like Cupid had last game, they could do it. Actually, it looks like they're going to focus on Freya here. Again, this could be going to Pain or Pon. So this gives them a little bit of ambiguity. Maybe not as much as a character like Guan Yu or Wukong, but at the same time, it allows them to have options open.
Would a Wukong Freya dual lane even work?
Oh, man, I'd be scared of that.
That would not be fun to fight against.
I have actually won 2v2 tournaments with that comp. Banish... and then Tiger Stun as they land, and then Freya just goes nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
It's a lot, but it can be countered.
So,
Flutter
Cog
out.
here, they're going to take Apollo and probably a solo laner. They usually put Tyr into the jungle. Okay, so it'll be Alquang Apollo. I almost guarantee it here. I would be really surprised if Tyr goes to the solo lane in this situation.
You're like a genius.
I've watched these two teams fight each other a lot. But yeah, Andis are probably going to be the jungle tier. That's one thing that Cog very rarely will put tier into the solo lane.
Look at this, hovering on Ares, so maybe Somugong going to Snoopy here. Shibalanka getting hovered on, so it looks like they're looking for a carry instead. Snoopy is just clicking buttons. Okay, so...
Wow. So it's going to be Freya ADC? No. Whoa. Jungle Wukong and solo Thanatos?
Well, that's what I'm saying is why, if they're going to put Thanatos in the jungle, why would it not just be picked by Pon right now? So it looks like we're going to be doing Jungle Freya, solo Wukong, and then Bacchus Shibalanke. For those of you who don't know at home, Bacchus and Shibalanke actually have a really cool combo. Have you ever seen it, Bart?
Yeah, the Intoxicate into Ultimate.
Right, because the ultimate coming out, the Darkness ultimate coming out from Shibalanke, if you are moving at any point during the end of the timer, you get stunned, and Bacchus's Intoxicate will force you to move. So far, none of these characters have abilities that force them to stand, like Ra could use his ultimate to stand still, Anubis could use Plague of Locusts to stand still, things like
Apollo.
that.
Apollo channels Chariots in place.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. To be fair, both Ra and him would be CC immune anyway.
Yeah, that's right. But So Loki gonna close it out here. So solo lane Loki for Omega.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
All right, yeah. Iana got Guan. Omega has Loki. MLC Stealth has Guan.
I'm telling you, I've never seen them run. I've never seen Omega run solo lane tier.
Huh. Well, we just saw it last game.
Was he tier?
Was he not tier? Yeah, Snoopy was Chang'e.
Yeah. Okay, so tier Chang'e. Yeah, it just. I'm sorry. Yeah, normally, I've seen it one time. Damn. No, it's normally a jungle pick for them.
You know, this is, EU knows this is not a pick that I love in the jungle, but I can't take it away from Annenster. I mean, one of the strongest junglers in the entire world right now. 3 minutes now separate these two teams from at least us watching. They're going to get right into it right now. The spectator client has to catch up to ensure that everything stays fair and square. But Pompon, despite a possibly weak game in the last run, has reprised his role as Freya. The character that, again, has kind of put him on the map almost a year ago. He's looking to get that burst damage, and I think it's actually a really good matchup for him against Loki. Going into the lane, he can disrupt Loki greatly by banishing that decoy, which is obnoxious, by the way.
So over-under on number of mystical marks in this game.
All right, so Wukong, Bacchus, Guan Yu. We're looking at least 2.
At least 2, yeah. The over-under's 2.
Yeah, maybe 3. I don't see it getting put onto Guan.
I think I'd take the over on that over the under. Like I definitely don't think it's going to be 1. You'll see at least 2.
Yeah. Maybe he'll start Ankh. Hope he
Yeah.
don't like it.
You think Wukong would start Ankh?
I was thinking, oh right, Tyr's not going to the solo lane.
No, he's in the jungle.
Loki's going to the solo lane.
That's right.
Oh my.
And Loki. I mean, could Loki deal with Wukong? Wukong harass versus Loki, low HP pool.
I don't know. Not to mention, if he builds Mystical Mark, there's no way that Loki's getting a kill on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somersault Cloud, 25% heal, chases Loki back down. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Denial is up a game to nothing, everybody. If you are just joining us in this best of 3, we're moving into game 2 here. We're just looking at the drafts here as the spectator client counts down. And, I think that the draft is a little bit better for Cog, I want to say. Like, Tyr, Guan Yu, Loki, Apollo just combined for so much disruption and damage you didn't expect to have come in. And then Ao Kuang, if he is a factor, he's going to be a big one. And Denial has a lot heavier execution, I think, requirements to really make that comp work.
But then again, we've seen Zhang Kuei do a lot of damage with Recall Demons, and now Jeff Hinla gets his prized pick. Bacchus probably has the best steals in the game.
Yeah, that's right. Belly flop almost unstoppable.
Belly flop, OP. Remember, Bart, when belly flop used to be somehow better than it is?
It's like 30% faster.
It was more than that. I remember the first time I saw the new belly flop, I laughed because I'm like, oh, you could just walk out of it. Belly flop used to be an insane,
damn near instant. Yeah,
it was like it was the best move in the game. It was better than Waxing Moon was by a margin. Waxing Moon, I still think, best move.
Waxing Moon.
Waxing Moon.
I don't know.
That's stun.
Best move.
That's stun. Super fast, huge range. Granted, it did get nerfed pretty recently, but still. But we are in Game 2, guys. This is finals of Week 1 on the path to the 100K. Denial versus Cognitive, and Bart's going to tell you about who they are and where they'll be going.
The blue team is going to be Denial Esports North America. They are down 1-0 against Cog, and they're going to try to surge back into this one for the 3rd time today. Mace to the face will be your mid lane Zhonghui. Pan Ulala will be in the jungle as Freya, Pendavion, and Snoopy will, Pendavion and Jeff Hinla will be combining for the Shibalanke Bacchus duo lane, and then Snoopy Man going to be your solo lane Wukong, who did indeed start with the Mystical Mark. Over on the red team, fighting out of the top of the minimap in the right side of the spectating UI, it is Cognitive Gaming North America. They are Barracuda and Ionic combining for the Apollo and Guan Yu dual lane. Anister in the jungle as Tier, MLC Stealth in the mid lane as the Noodle, and MLC's Omega will be your solo lane Loki.
So right off the bat, we're seeing Ionic rotate over to the left side. He gets the ward down, and now he's just backing up in the safest way possible. You just don't try to fight Denial at level 1. Even when they got the pick at the last game on Denial, they weren't able to confirm it. Granted, Barracuda getting that early double started spiraling him, but that happened in lane. In the jungle, I think a lot of the fights have been going to Denial. Same thing happened against, against Dignitas. They were able to pressure repeatedly over and over and over, and there really wasn't much they could do.
Yeah, and there's really not much that they can do. Denial it really drafts strong level 1 fighters. Freya Banish at level 1 is such a good spell to save people. And Ponpon almost always seems to have that ready. Like I think his finger's sitting on F3 just waiting for someone to try to get picked, and then he's going to skill that thing up. But it doesn't look like we're going to have much early game aggression here.
Nope.
Denials wants to turn the corner. Their timing is good this time. They are going to round it just as this thing's getting low. In comes Ponpon. He's going to hand it down. Orange is stolen. Now they're going to go after Anderser. Anderser will not have another dash here for a few seconds to use power cleave, so he's actually not going to get another one. Down will go Anderser. Red pot gone.
Red pot
big,
gone.
Big deal.
That's absolutely huge. It's also my favorite invade in the game. Did you know that, Bard?
That's it.
That's what I think about when I go to sleep is how can I invade this speed buff and take it away from them?
That's a good invade.
I love it. And they not only do they manage to get the speed buff, but they get a kill onto Andy, a character, rather a player that is known for being ahead, and they're going to shut down 400 goal off right side. Ionic is in trouble too. Denial is not giving up. We expected going in. Possibly, are they in the head? But look at this. Barracuda, undeterred. No threat whatsoever.
Wow.
He misses this so beautiful, but there's nothing else going to happen there. Jeff overstayed his welcome, got a little bit greedy, and Barracuda answers back in spades.
Jeez. This guy. What a player.
How does he do these things?
I don't know. Anderson now, though, sitting at half health after taking out an XP camp, going to be chased off the blue by Freya. They're going to have Denial's going to have none of that, him getting back into this game. He's probably going to have to sit and soak experience in this lane. And now with Loki, with this kind of risky style jungler, they really cannot contest. I'm sorry, risky style soul laner. They cannot contest this this blue buff. Freya should be able to take this pretty easily.
They don't have a ward here. They actually might go for this. Anderser still level 1, sitting about half health. If he gets aggressive here, Ponpon can pick it up. It's up to them to make the aggressive call. Though Pon's inside the blue buff. Soupy recognizes the threat and starts rotating over. He manages to burn it down. That's going to be a free blue. If he has pulse, he'll be able to slow. One slow. Irradiate will be activated here. One shot should do it. He needs two. He gets it. Again, Anderser goes down.
They're going to keep him completely suppressed, and it's now more and more looking like it's another game for Barracuda to carry for his team. Somehow he has to carry them out of this. Sitting at level 4, these rotations from Apollo are going to have to be just amazing. He's going to have to get a double kill here in the next 3 to 4 minutes to really turn this game around for his team, as they've taken out the jungler twice, and they have Freya as their jungler. In last game, where you saw Freya consistently getting soloed down by the Cupid, Apollo doesn't do quite as well. It takes him a little bit longer for his damage to ramp up versus Freya. So, this is going to be tough.
Right now, though, Painted Yon getting aggressive, which is strange considering Jeff is not there. Barracuda definitely has enough damage to burn him down again, but I don't think Pain's going to be as aggressive as he was last time. I think his lesson in this case has been learned. Now, Barra, level 5, is going to have that split push potential, but I don't see that getting truly activated until much later in the game when we start seeing some rotations over from Shivalanke. At the same time, Pompon's sitting level 4, very close to level 5, looking at the experience per minute. He's sitting, it looks like 360 compared to the 380 from Snoopy, so he does hit level 5. The ultimate is activated. Looking at the board, Denial has their first real lead so far, 1,000 gold, 2,000 experience, and decent map control, honestly.
Oh, Jeff Finland's going to need an Alquang ultimate, still under the effects of tornadoes, and he is going to go down there. But Barracuda's in the air. I don't think they can punish Mace the Face. He's going to be forced to fall back down underneath his tower. So the first Apollo ultimate goes to the wayside, and Bacchus gives up his life for I think he only got one of those harpies as well.
And that's the pressure of Alquang, a character that takes probably more skill than any other character currently in the meta to play at a competitive level. I mean, it's easy to put down tornadoes, but being able to aim that ultimate, combo your skills effectively, and be able to escape from team fights at the same time is a very hard task. And so far, MLC Stealth seems like he's up to it. He's up 1-0-0, despite the fact that his team might be down by still 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I think that he's... Stealth is better on Alquang than his Raw was. His Raw play was really nice, but I think that the Alquang is a little bit more to his suit. He's definitely a big kind of magic damage dealer. I don't think he plays quite as well out of that semi-support role that Raw really holds.
Looks like right side Omega aiming up towards the speed buff, wants to ensure that maybe his jungle isn't getting taken. Pompon, of course, on the left side, so no threat looming just yet. Mid-camp's not 100% sure who was able to get that. It looks like it went towards the cognitive side, looking at the graph there. Mace to the face still alone in mid lane as Pompon gets super greedy, rotating up through the jungle, trying to help Jeff and Pain with their pickup here of the blue buff. Another steal coming out, which is very strong. Ionic might be forced to Warhorse here if they contest. MLC Stealth taking a huge amount of damage as he rotates in. Yes, he does get picked up. Valkyrie's Discretion, it looks like, wasn't enough to help him out just there. Forced really just to get out of the Ao Kuang ultimate. Pain Devion trying to do something, but you can see he is super low mana right now and he cannot contest.
Yeah, he can't stay in there, and this one's looking more and more now to be denial game. It seems like every time that we look back at it, they're continuing to grow the lead from the beginning of this game. They're now at 1,400 gold and 2,600 experience, but realistically, they're at the point right now where a single gold fury could turn this game back in favor of COG. So it's definitely not out of the woods yet for denial, but it's a good start for them. They have the mystical mark done on Snoopy, which makes this matchup in the right side lane for Omega. Basically, there's no hope of him even getting remotely enough damage on the Snoopy to kill him. It's purely a farm lane for Loki now, so I wouldn't expect to see much of Omega for about another 30 minutes. And then it's going to all come down to whether or not he comes out strong enough. You probably won't see him besides objective contests. I mean, you can just see there one rotation of spells from Snoopy puts him down to about a third health.
Yeah, I mean, he did take a few archer shots too, but that's the power. He has the push potential right now. Decoy's not going to be able to clear until level 5, and if he levels that, he's really not going to have a lot of team fight presence either. Like you were saying, he needs to get very farmed to be a relevant fighter. It used to be where he could clear at level 7 quite easily, but that's been lost to the wayside for a few months now.
Yeah, oof. This is going to be tough. This is going to be really tough for COG for about the next 5 minutes. Denial has really nice map control. They have very deep and aggressive wards. They've done a good job of shutting down the buffs. They've really reduced the XP per minute of Cognitive really well. They're keeping everybody fairly well kept in while some of their players are getting a very high 570 XP minute on Mace, 520 on Snoopy, versus look at someone like Omega sitting at 460. So they're really just getting the better of that routinely.
Rotations over again from Pompon. It looks like he might be trying to get aggressive here as he goes into the red buff. I don't know that ward was able to capture what they were exactly doing, but Ionic does spot it out. Unfortunately, it wasn't in time, and that's going to be a free mid-camp pickup as well. Denial still leads about 1,400 gold, 2,600 experience, which is starting to scale pretty well, especially considering the fact that the gold's going on the right people. You see Snoopy getting big on Sun Wukong, and of course has already finished that mystical mark, which allows him to stand in the thick of things. That will threaten characters like Apollo, who Barracuda is playing, and Loki, who Omega is playing, who both had a large factor in the win in the last game.
Pain Devion going Transcendence. Skipping Boots 1 going Transcendence. Apollo has the Heartseeker up and running. And as we always say when you go for this item, that he's in danger of getting outpushed by Barracuda during this time or even solo killed. But it just seems like Denial's advantage right now is going to make it so that Barracuda can't man up in the same way he could last game and really look to stress that advantage over the Shibalanke going Transcendence. Now, another thing I want to point out here is Anderson is going to forego a lot of his early gold into a Blink 3 and look to be more of an initiator for his team.
I could have seen Blink 2. Blink 3 seems very aggressive. He needs to be using this not only as an attack mechanic, but as a mechanic to move around the map to ensure that he has, I guess, enough use of it. And here we go. He does get the Blink. Great banish coming out from Pon to stop MLC in the spot there. Gets blown up. Spirit Tempest does hit Mace, who's going to be forced out. Lawbringer forced to use Valkyrie's Discretion. Not going to clean it up, but they can chase it. Ionic gets slammed by Snoopy over the wall, and now they have a chance to pick up another one. Will the banish be activated? Missed on the hand of the gods. Looks like the banish is going to miss. Pompon's going to continue his farm, but again, the damage done. MLC Stealth dropping there. Ionic dropping as well. That's a very big swing for COG as they rotate right over to the Gold Fury.
Yeah, they're going to give it a shot now. They're up 2,200 gold, 3,600 experience before they start in on it, and it looks like this is going to be an uncontested attempt. You see Guan Yu, in fact, even just getting back to the pool now, so there's not going to be a hog anywhere in sight for this thing, and that's going to go easily in favor of Denial, putting them up to a 3,600 gold lead. Mace of the Face going to go help out. Well, I'm sorry, Jeff Henley going to help out Mace of the Face there with those mid camps. So the experience lead starting to get around 5,000. The gold lead starting to get around 3,500, and this is where they're about an item ahead. And they probably have about 2 levels on average across the board that they're up on COG. It's starting to get to the point where Cognitive, this game's running away from them. You have Omega, who has nothing but a Heartseeker, and then you also have on the other side Anister with nothing but Boots 2 and a Blink 3. So their damage potential is just going to be really, really low. It's going to be very hard for them to actually get in and win these fights without a big-time Alquang ultimate.
Which we really haven't seen. I mean, every time he might have hit a person with it, but it's not equating to the damage done. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of difficulty. Like, the ability to get in and out as Alquang is so insanely hard, and especially with a team comp like this, he doesn't have a lot of peels. Is Omega building Transcendence on Loki?
Yeah, why not? Why not go triple stacking? Stack City build. I mean, he's going to be in this lane forever.
Okay, that's a fair point. Oh, great vanish coming out. Snoopy still finds him. Actually finds him again. Mystical Mark ticking to keep him in line of sight. For those of you who don't know, if you do hit Loki when he's in vanish and you don't pop him out, the number will still appear above his head and drag a little bit. So you'll be able to follow his rotation. Snoopy using that to his advantage with that Mystical Mark. Look at this. Missed again. Slippery Omega has no chance. The mice cannot be caught by the cat there, as once again Snoopy takes a tower shot for his troubles.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if you're going to go this style of Loki, right, and, you know, they know it's going to be this kind of matchup when you put him in the Soul, and he's not going to win it against really any of the gods that are in vogue to be picked, so this is pretty much how it goes, and I like that Denial is going to pressure this tower. I like that they're getting smart. The big banish, of course, onto the decoy for Freya, which is a very strong counter to Loki. He's going to be forced to use his ultimate through the wall there to try to get away from Ponpon's Freya, and he's going to go ahead and creep skip. And but Snoopy not going to get a lot of damage out onto this tower, actually, as they're going to let the wave kind of reset back into the way of those minions. Ponpon's still hunting deep at the XP camp. Blow! Only hits Omega with one, so close.
And now he is in the worst situation. Warhorse coming. Will he get the stun? He finds two. MLC Stealth has a chance here. He's lining it up. Smart play. Doesn't manage to land it. Pompon in a lot of trouble. Recall Demons is out, but it does not heal his teammates anymore. And Pompon gets grabbed. Super aggressive, trying to find MLC Omega, not Stealth, on the right side. For his trouble, did lose his tower. Now Pain to Beyond's got out of position. No Gold Fury to be had here. They can try to pressure the left tower, but they really can't make too much happen off this push. Snoopy goes for the blue steal. You see Omega walking over. I don't think I've seen Omega really get hit by animals yet.
Yeah, no, he's keeping everything left and right, and
he has vanished everyone.
And he still hasn't died. So, you know, Heartseeker's still doing work, and if he gets Transcendence going too, I mean, that's going to be a really, really strong 30-minute timing once he gets that and Boots, and like, what if he just goes straight to Devour's Gloves and then like Witchstone or something silly like that.
Oh, left side belly flop coming out, just trying to deter Barracuda away from this tower, and deter he does as Pompon comes over to help clear the wave. They don't want to lose that gold just yet, sitting 3,800 ahead. They could afford to give it up, but why do it if you don't have to? Pompon right now sitting at about 6,500 gold, which puts him almost 1,000 ahead of Andenster, who's sitting at level 11 right now, which is tied with Pompon, but the experience difference is going to start scaling more and more in Freya's favor as she starts to clear more quickly and more safely. The mid camp's going to Ionic, and now pressure's happening in the mid lane, but I don't really expect much to happen from it.
Awesome. Awesome game so far. I mean, this one is really, really interesting. Pompon going to go Demonic Grip after Fatalis here, so not that that Gem of Isolation build they seem to favor so heavily in the last matchup. Transcendence up and running on Pain to Beyond, but no Boots yet. Snoopy going to be going for the Witchstone build himself against that Loki. The tower is really the big difference here. That last tower really, really helped Denial maintain their lead. They had about that low 3,000 gold lead before that last fight with Cog that Cog got the better of, but because they took that tier 1 tower on the right side, they still maintain about a 4,000 gold lead even after the resurgence from Denial. So they're so comfortably in the lead and don't have to start really adjusting their play, and can continue with these item builds that they've started investing in.
So not too much going on right now. We're seeing more pressure coming in, but they can't chase Alquang into the tower. Of course, the small ease of Alquang is that farming potential. You just put a Tornado down, you set it, you forget it. The creep wave dies for free. Now rotation's coming over. They might be ready to dive this. Jeff's rotating over. This is a 4v4 lining up here, but check it out. Omega has teleported over. Belly flop. Intoxicate lands onto two drunk driving right here as Ionic tries to land something, doesn't find anything. MLC Stealth has a chance to pick up a kill here if they can find Pompon. Only finds Jeff Hinland, not the target he wants. Omega goes down, but Barracuda in the back does manage to find Pompon. Ooh la la. Still 2 for 1. They're pressuring the tower as well, but look at this. Barracuda has the damage. He's pressuring down Snoopy in the back, chasing Annister. Will he be able to catch it with the stun? And he does. 3 for 1, but he's out of position now, and he's out of position against the person you don't want to be against. Here comes Barracuda. Of course, Tele Assault raining down as well, ensuring he lowers the time, or rather the defenses. But Mace is here. That's a stun. There's Exorcism. Barracuda's being chased out. Jeff Himmler rotates down by himself towards this Gold Fury, and now they're getting down there as well. This could be a chance for them to fill their coffers even more. This will put them 6K ahead. They need to do it.
Yeah, and Yannick needs to disrupt this badly for his team. Hand 3 up and running on him. Only hand 1's on denial, so they can't go in. Look at that. What timing. What a smart play by Yannick. Just picked that up when he died after that fight there. Comes back in.
Brilliant play.
And there's nothing they can do about it. They know they can't even attempt it now. And really, to be honest, COG could probably just go ahead and pick that up. They know that, they have actually a really small window right now where they could do it where only 1 ultimate's available. It would take a serious commitment, and unfortunately with Loki, they have to rotate him back to the right lane because he's just not resilient enough to really fill that role, right? If they had like Tyr at the solo lane, and they had Barracuda and Yannick, and then they maybe had another jungler that wasn't Loki, or sorry, another solo laner that wasn't Loki, that was a little bit more resilient, they could kind of shuffle that aggro around, but they just can't do it here. So it's going to sit for a little bit longer.
So right side, Pompon clearing the wave up. Still no pressure in the Gold Fury. You see the wards getting placed down. Jeff Hindlaw took a quick trip back to the base to earn himself a level 3 Hand of the Gods. And of course, Sovereignty has been finished up as well, putting him slightly ahead of Yannick, not to mention 2 levels ahead as well. But the Gold Fury has been started. This will be their chance to get something done here, but we've talked about it before. Belly flop is ridiculous. There's the Intoxicate. Yannick's gone. Free Gold Fury right there for denial, plus a kill. The Spirit's Tempest hits, but the damage is done. 2 down already. Gold Fury down. They're chasing in the front. Barracuda's trying to escape here. He gets carded. He's sprinting to stop the slow coming out from Expose Evil. And look at this. Snoopy in topside, ready to find someone. Stun. Here comes the knock-up, waiting for the cudgel. Does he have it? He misses. And the stun. The mess coming out from Barracuda. And he gets out again. How does he do it?
The plays that get made, but it's still going to be another tower going down in favor of denial, and that's going to put them even stronger into the lead here. I mean, this is. Whew, I mean, we've basically been saying it all game here that it just seems to keep on getting worse and worse for COG. The gods that they have are a little bit stronger hitting these mid-game timings, and then they also have the big advantage going into it. So 7,700 gold going the way of denial. They got 10,000 experience their way as well. It will low-key pan out in some kind of insane way. That's it. Can they hold long enough that all of a sudden Loki's going to come out of this at 8-1? That's basically what they need to get back in this game, because Annister is just not even an issue.
This is the second game in a row that we've seen Annister kind of fall behind, and this is very uncharacteristic of a player who's normally so dominant. But there is something I want to point out. Over the last 4 weeks, not including today, or at least up to this point today, Cognitive NA has not lost a single game in tournament. There hasn't even been a 2 out of 3 forced on them in finals, or a third game rather. So I think this is one of the few times that we've seen them really put into the corner. This can be the first tournament loss for the weekly series sponsored by Hi-Rez that might be put onto COG in almost forever. Yeah,
it's been a long time. Annister trying to get out of here now. Like I said, just basically just a non-issue in this fight, and they've bursted him down so far that this should be at another. Oh, well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens when there's a Freya on the board. So down will go Mr. Annister, and Loki considered rotating, but he thinks better of it, and there's going to be at least 2 towers falling down now as this engagement continues.
So they're pressuring. This could be another 1,000 gold added to their bank account. And if they pressure this, they have a chance to actually get some kills as well. Snoopy, I know, is ready to look for that kill. Belly flop has been in there. Yannick's going to dash out of the stun, but there's the 1,000 already added. Right side, Omega's going to be pressuring here as you see Pompon getting very aggressive, putting himself maybe out of position.
Pompon getting Wall of Absolution.
What? What'd you say?
Yeah, Pompon getting Wall of Absolution.
Okay,
Build that.
Not an item a lot of people build. Pompon, obviously known for mixing it up. Last week we saw him start with Witchstone, like second item on Freya. So he has things. Maybe he has something done. Maybe he knows something that we don't. I don't see why he would really pick this up. Really, more than anything, he's probably just afraid of Barracuda.
Yeah, Barracuda and Omega. combining for massive physical birth. Well, I mean, it is 4 physical gods on the scene, but like it begs the question of why not just get a height of Endymion line over this.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that 100%. Or, you know, even something like a breastplate. Give her more cooldowns.
Sure, why not? Yeah, a bunch of mana and cooldowns. Or I think the best thing here would have been the health. Would be my general feelings. But I think that she's probably looking at the fact that, you know, you have Heartseeker Chins, Heartseeker Transcendence, and the only pen is really these boots. So it's not going to need a lot of armor, maybe.
So right now, Denial has kind of jumps back into laning phase here. They're continuously farming 8,500 gold up. We've seen Cog down before, but a lot of this comes down to how can they CC them enough to really get those burst damage attacks down. And again, this comes the difficulty of Aokwang. Like, Aokwang has to try to get in there and get that damage done. But look at this, Anister, great Lawbringer to counter, but already there's the Spirit Tempest we've been looking for. Anister doing damage. Snoopy up in the air now. They're trying to get something done. It looks like MLC Stealth has been picked up as well and coming down off the cloud. They're trying to pressure Barracuda. Omega in the back looking for an opportunity to find something. Where will the stun come? He opts to jump out of it as Barracuda finally, actually he doesn't go down. Again, he's one hit, gets healed up by Ionic. Right side there pressuring the tower. Once again, look at this, chasing Omega, trying to find something. He's completely gone. Oh my god, did Barracuda die? I didn't know that could happen.
Snoopy tower dove him, and he pays with his life for it, but they finally bring down the Apollo. Look at Loki's positioning now.
I imagine that at the top of his lungs right now, Snoopy is screaming Worth.
Yeah, I imagine.
The first kill that we've seen actually be put onto Barracuda in a long time, at least in the last 2 games, has finally taken place, which will not only shut down his farming time for the next 30 seconds, but also cut half of those stacks to ensure that he is forced to farm to get back up to his damage.
Poor Anister. The only thing he's bringing law to is empty patches of grass outside of team fights. I don't think we've seen him hit anybody, even attempt an offensive ultimate yet.
Oh, he blinked right there, but it just wasn't fast enough. Paintivion getting himself out of harm's way very quickly. Topside red buff actually gets dropped there. It is now hanging on the ground, courtesy of Pompon Ulala, and is now going to get some free farm as well. Look at the Haste and Fatalis work its way around. Taking a look at the gold, we're going to see in hand right now. A lot of Denial actually has already spent. We don't see too much hanging around on anyone, not enough to make anything worth. Anister, Ionic, and MLC Stealth sitting over 500. Overall, still 8,500 gold ahead. We see Denial as well as 12,000 experience.
Okay, here we go. There's an ultimate in on the Paintivion. They really want this kill. And they'll get it, and they'll get some experience, much needed experience for Anister. Yeah. I feel like this should have been happening a lot earlier. Like there should have been
the Loki tier combo. It's one of the combos.
Yeah, well, they know that they can't bring down Snoopy. Like they don't have a snowball chance in hell of taking him down, so they're not even going to try it. But and I think that's why you didn't see a lot of rotation from Anister, because he was so low level. But like, I feel like it should have been on Omega, honestly, to rotate around and try to get Anister back into this game.
And I think that's one of the weaknesses of solo Loki with how heavy the bruisers are lately in terms of defense. It's so hard for Loki to find those early kills, whereas if he were in the jungle, he would be able to get onto characters like, you know, Zhang Kui or onto, you know, Shibalanke and really get that burst damage working. Same thing for Tyr. He'd be a little bit more bulky and have that extra experience in the solo lane. I feel like it's more important to have a fed Tyr than it is a fed Loki.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, Loki will get his day. Right, and really what's going on here is that they're maximizing this, like, crazy pan out for Loki. So when he does pan out ultimately in the game, which is going to happen, he's going to be, like, an unstoppable, crazy high burst damage killing machine instead of just a crazy high burst damage killing machine. So I completely agree with you. He pans out maybe 20% harder with this build than he would normally, and Anister could be in a much, or rather, the Tyr could be in a much better spot with just even still going 1-6. That soul lane farm would have been much better for Tyr.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now you see Anister forced into Blink, still hasn't picked up Hand of the Gods, or rather Fist of the Gods. If he were to finish that pretty soon, he'd have a better chance of escaping these team fights where he's forced to use his Lawbringer early. Maybe that extra stun could help him. You know, he has 2 Fearlesses to his name, the heal from Power Cleave, of course. But the Gold Fury has respawned. It is now a major point of contention as we see the ward has been cleared, and they're going for it. The entire push right now is on Ionic. Can he get there? Can he find a way inside? And can he get the steal? No, he cannot. They're not even going to use the Hand of the Gods there. They're going to save it in case the Fire Giant push happens, and immediately they're going to start rotating to ensure that that wasn't going on how they stole it in the last game, but they already see Ionic in the backside. They know they're not going to go for it. This is their chance to push.
Cog doesn't even seem really like they are really, their hearts aren't really in it that much. Like, we haven't even seen them really try an engagement. They've basically just run from denial now for the last about 12 minutes and really haven't gotten much done. There's going to be a split push attempt now coming out from Anderson and Omega, and while I think that passive play is going to help them out, certainly, getting some levels up onto Anderson, getting some farm together, they're running out of time really, really fast, and Denial's just going to get stronger from here on out. They have Shibalanke with a big-time late-game build. They have Mace to the Face with a big damage build, and they have Pon with a super ultra late-game build. It's going to go Polynomicon as well, so Ratatouille going to come in to replace Bumba shortly, I imagine, as well. Looks like here comes a fight from Cog, but it's going to be a defensive one. Barracuda comes crashing in after the initiation goes down. No one getting particularly low yet, but Mesa Face just starts channeling his ultimate. Barracuda forced out. Pain to Beyond blown up by Omega in the back of the fight. Loki finally panning out. Spirit Tempest hits nobody. Omega chain CC down. Bye-bye. Down he goes. It's going to be a one-for-one trade at the end of everything, but Denial can still start pressuring this Phoenix. Well, Barracuda has something to say about that, and we've seen him dive right back in there, but this time he can't trade with Freya. He's forced back out. Ionic going to be the one going in, stunned out right away. Chain CC, Anderson even CC'd as he blinks in. He's going to get a big Fearless in to knockout combo, but there's no follow-up, and he's going to fall as well. So Cog on the re-engage gives back a lot. Now they're down 3. Only Barracuda and Stealth available to defend this Phoenix.
That was a brilliant Fearless. I'm actually super surprised it didn't pan out. A little bit of healing coming out from Mace to the Face as he attempts to clear that wave, only getting 2 demons stuffed into that bag. Great banish here. Here comes the combo. Barracuda's gone, and now they're going to have a chance to push for this Phoenix. But unfortunately for them, here comes the ridiculous defensive measures that Alquan brings to the table. He has a chance to get something done here. They really should just try to pressure the Dragon, and they turn on him. There he goes. Nothing to do here. The Phoenix is getting taken, and only Omega is up. Only Pon really could be pressured at this point. Will he go for it? Do they have the damage to clear the Phoenix without Snoopy? Banish comes. They finally get it, but there's no way for Pon to escape here. Warhorse is activated. He's just going to turn and try to get some damage done. Actually going to turn out to Omega, but it's not going to be enough damage. He will get taken down, but at the same time, they manage to take that Phoenix down, which is a huge swing for them. At this point, all Jeff has to do is hang out near the Fire Giant, ensure they don't do it, let his team heal up, and Cog should have this one in the bag.
They should. They should. I mean, Denial. Whew, I mean, this lead has continued to grow, and Cog puts up a decent defense there. But they gave back maybe a little bit more than they should have. I think that instead of re-engaging there, they had to kind of move back. It takes risk to get back into the games, but after where the risk could lose your Phoenix, it seems a little bit too high risk for while a good reward, it's just not a big enough one. They really need to maybe try to be risky in certain other areas, like having Omega overextend for some split pushing. Or on the other side, have Barracuda do it, and try to be a little bit more risky in terms of the leanness in which they're defending instead of re-engagement, which I think it just isn't their strong suit with this comp.
So I think early on you said you didn't really see the potential in the Freya Wukong right there, the banished Tiger Stun. Like, what do you do about that? You just fall into death. And it's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling because you're just up there looking down and you're like, there's nothing I can do about staying alive right now.
Yeah, it beads.
Hopefully.
Beads and beat Cupid or Apollo.
Yeah.
Like, those are really your options. I mean, have a really great escape. So, like, here's what I'd like to see, right? Like, Barracuda is going to continue split pushing here, and, like, this is what they have to do. They have to try to trade towers. They have to maybe try to spread the map out a little bit and really find some farm for the team while defending this Phoenix. Like, this is a much better risk, I think, than re-engaging. But it's going to be really hard to stop Denial here. And now it's going to be Ionic that's going to get the attention for the moment. Jeff Hinla's there and going invisible as Omega. We can't even engage. The Phoenix goes down for free, and now Denial comes rolling in. Cog just kind of stuck around there and really let him go for all of that. Omega going to make it back to the pool with Barracuda now. They're doing the damage, keeping them in the pool here. Anderson's going to engage, but he's going to melt. Barracuda comes back in with the ultimate, but he doesn't really have much to say about that. Omega finds Snoopy at the back lines. He's trying to find his way out now, gets the stealth going, but he's being ticked down by the dots. And, one big crit comes out from Shibalanke and takes him right out. So now no Loki available either, meaning they can stay around a bit more at the low HP levels. But looks like it's going to be let's fall back. Potentially some recalls coming out from those with teleport to wards, but it's going to be a Fire Giant attempt from Denial here shortly.
Well, I mean, at this point, it looks like Cog would steal that completely. They need to pressure. Great use of the moves coming out from Barracuda, but it looks like he's going to be caught out there. He would have been caught earlier had he not used it, but at the same time, there was no pressure, at least not enough to really stop it. Ionic getting forced back here. I'm surprised at this point that we're not even seeing a surrender vote. Denial has answered back 100%. They have taken 2 Phoenixes, all towers, except for 1 tier 2. And look at this, the banish coming out from Pompon. There goes the Fire Giant. The Gold Furies have been taken almost every single time by them for this set. And now, leading 11K, 14,000 experience, this is going to be their chance to be the first team to take down Cog in over a month.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And they're going to take another Gold Fury as well, just to keep it off the board. Just don't let Anister get a little experience in gold out of that. Ionic also really far behind, level 15 in that Guardian role. You know, those Gold Furies really help the Guardians probably most of all in keeping their farm up and getting to those 3rd and 4th items. So recall starting to come out now, and you got a feeling this is the kind of the final victory march here for Denial. 2 Phoenixes down, and they should be able to take the respawns down really at ease. Mid tower going to be coming back up here shortly. So I'm sorry, mid Phoenix. So it's Denial really. Cog has 1 maybe good last stand left in them, and if it's not a full team wipe, they run the risk of losing the game.
Middle Phoenix has respawned, of course, with the recent patch that debuffed it. It ensures that it doesn't spawn at 100% in terms of overall durability. As it maintains its health and regains its health, it will never get back up to the original maximum. Now, mid lane, Barracuda going to be forced into using, more than likely across the sky, actually opts to use that sprint instead after using the moves to try to get out. A grouping here over on the left side is going to try to prevent this, but look at this. Pawn and Pain starting to push up. Stealth doesn't even realize it. They're going right in. And check out the damage able to be put forth here from Pon. Look at this. Yeah, inside, free, no problem. Tower gets taken. Left side, Jeff's inside the Phoenix as well. This is going to be their chance to take down the final point of contention and then push in, all in for the Minotaur. There's going to be no stopping Denial at this point.
Yeah, you have a fully stacked up Transcendence on Shibalanke with the Fire Giant buff, sitting on just massive amounts of physical power. Omega blown up right away, so now there's no real threat there. Pon going to go up in the air as Spirit Tempest comes through, and they're going to pile in on the Minotaur. Denial takes out game number 2, and that one was theirs the entire game.
It really was. GG to them. Major comeback after that first game. The dominant performance coming out from Barracuda finds 3 more deaths than he did in the last game, and you gotta know that Denial is super stoked about that one, especially considering how poorly the first game went. It seems like that was a complete turnaround, like almost like they fought 2 different teams, and you can see that reflected not only in the amount of objectives taken, but in the damage done. Look at Ionic under 4K, Anister sitting at 7,200. All of this compared, of course, to Mace of the Face, who again tops the charts at 27,000. I expect a Jean Kui ban next game. I don't know how they would let that pass again.
Yeah, it was definitely very strong for Mace of the Face, and maybe he'll finally get to play Isis. We'll find out here shortly, DM. That one, not really too much to say about that one. All around, Cog just really didn't have it together that game. Omega in the solo lane just wasn't really strong enough on Loki. Anister, of course, getting picked off twice early game, could never get it together with Tyr, and the rest of it really fell apart from there. When your jungler and your solo laner just really have no kind of... They were exerting no will over the game at all. It allowed for Snoopy to rotate around as he wanted to, and allowed for Pon to just really not have to worry about Tyr at all, and allowed Pain to be on to sit there and farm comfortably and then move into team fights and throw auto attacks the whole time without having to worry about blink Tyr. So all in all, well played by Denial, and let's go ahead and move into game number 3.
All right, we're going to check in with the admins, get everything set up. We're going to cut to a quick break while we get this done. In the meantime, guys, make sure to stick around. Game 3 of the first week on the road to the 100K is coming up, and you're not going to want to miss this.
escape into the dark. Got false lights for the sun. It's an artificial nocturne. It's an outsider's escape for a broken heart. We hide out in the back, like shadows in a stranger's dream. Hiding out in the back together. Hiding out in the back forever. I made all that I believe. 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 Found an entrance to escape into the dark. Found an entrance to escape into the dark.
Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few short moments away from game number 3 here in a best-of-3 series between Denial and Cognitive Gaming North America. It is a 1-to-1 split. All things told, it's been a couple of very snowballs-heavy games. I mean, Cog with a demanding and commanding victory in game number 1. Denial takes game number 2 all the way from start to finish. DM, game number 3. What do you expect to see different?
Well, we know that right off the bat we're going to see a switch up in terms of what they plan to do as Cognitive opts for first pick instead of the second pick that they've wanted, so we're going to switch the names up here as well. I think they're going to be banning Zhang Kui here.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would hope so, at least. I mean, Mace the Face has been godlike with him all day.
I like this. Smart. Ban out Agni. Force the opposing team, the second pick team, to take those bans away. All they have to do here, ban Zeus, ban Mercury. I mean, letting either of those two go at this point can spell pretty close to instant death. Yeah,
you're right. Zeus or Mercury easily taking over games these days. Giving Zeus to stealth is like guaranteed loss.
Oh, I fought Omega's Zeus yesterday in Soul Lane. Same thing. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, they if they get him in tournament play, they very rarely put it into the Soul Lane. It's normally going to stealth, just because.
Yeah.
When you give stealth a god that you can't dive, he just starts really wrecking people. But yeah, bands coming out: Agni, Merc, and we're waiting on the final ban coming out from Barracuda.
Yeah, they're taking their sweet time with this one. It looks like they are going to ban Zhang Kui. Now they are forced directly into the Zeus ban here. Otherwise, they will give that up, and that will not be okay. Zeus, I don't think we've seen Zeus in a game in a long time. Actually, no, wait, we saw him one game last week where Dignitas let him through and wound up pushing him down pretty hard, actually.
Yeah, it's rarely that you see much Zeus these days. What is Denial going to ban here? You know, Thor going to be the first pick for sure if they don't ban it.
They did not ban Zeus.
So they banned Tyr because they're thinking,
Instant
we'll give them
launch.
Zeus, we'll take Thor. Thor's going to go to Pon Pon for sure here. And then Guan Yu. Okay, yeah, kick Guan Yu for Jeff.
Looks like you were wrong. Thor's going to Mace to the face. Left side, 2 picks here. Athena's still on the table, of course. Sobek, Bacchus, all those wonderful characters that we love to see. Some Wukong, which I know they love to run on support, and they like it in the solo laner, so that could be a major pickup here. Some Wukong has a very high pick rate, but they're hovering on a very early Ra.
So that would be a solo lane Raw. We've seen Omega go this before in tournament play. Does it really add that much?
Maybe keeping Zeus safe. That's all I can really see. But in that case,
Is it better than Chang'e?
I think and people are gonna, castrate me publicly for this, but I think Nuwa was the much better pick here to keep Zeus safe.
Okay.
Nuwa has the range stun. She has the cage to lock Zeus out and make sure that people can't continue chasing him. Not to mention insane tower pushes, something that the current lineup is going to lack a little bit, and that will ease the pressure off of Barracuda's split push. But I'm the only one who cares. She's good player.
Oh, you don't have to tell me, man. I'm telling you, the Ra Nuwa on the same team is pretty much unstoppable tower push. You take all the tier 1s right away.
Nuwa Zeus. But yeah, I can see that's obnoxious.
No, I know what you're saying, but I mean, like, AoE healers and her do quite well together. They're going to give Pompon Freya third game in a row. They're going to give Snoopy Man give him Rush. No, they're going to give him Wukong. So that combination once again. And so between Thor, Wukong, Freya, and Guan Yu, good luck locking down Denial.
I think actually they're going to give Freya to Pain.
ADC Freya. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Ooh, they heard you. No, those are troll picks.
He's trolling me. Get out of here.
Yeah, those are troll
Quick
picks.
ban him. It'll be funny. I promise.
No way they're going back to Loki.
I'm not on board with this one.
It would be a jungler this time. It would be going to Andy.
Right, but I want to see more damage coming out, sure, but not that kind of damage. I mean, Tyr was banned out. That's a big part of their pick. Guan Yu's already gone. Wukong's already gone. Hercules is still on the table, and he's being overlooked, and Loki's locked in.
So yeah, it's going to be Loki in the jungle and most likely Ra in the solo. I mean, I can't imagine going to have Ra in the solo or Ra in the jungle, but I guess it's possible. And the final pick coming out here probably also going to be a. I guess it's got to be the mid laner. Unlikely to be Anubis. Probably Hebo if you're going to go
I've
for
actually
this
seen
style.
him do this a lot, to be fair, but both of them actually, both Snoopy and Pain have been playing a lot of Anubis lately, especially in ranked. I see Snoopy doing it all the time.
It's going to be Isis. Yeah, he's going to try to abuse Zeus's inability to clear waves effectively early.
Bart, I just want to point out that they couldn't get Zhang, so here comes Isis.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and Mace gave a very quiet and pensive like, yeah.
Can you grab me Isis?
Can you just give me Isis?
Well, we need you to play Zhang. No, he's banned. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. We're actually listening to Denial's team speak.
Yes, that's right. Cryptoid TV has come online because I don't have a thing on the bottom.
Bad TV.
What you doing there, Bart?
Hey, I'm just chilling, man. It's cold in here.
It's pretty cold in here. My heat does not work very well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at condos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, so we got about 3 minutes before we get in, guys. We, of course, want to make sure that the spectator client is on a short delay to ensure that everything stays fair and square. We have a legendary Isis and a legendary Guan Yu in this game. Jeff Himlo is going to be taking him for the for the support role. Sun Wukong going to the solo. What's crazy about those two gods is either one of them could have wound up in either role, and it would have been perfect either way.
Yeah, they're both really good.
I love it.
Yeah. They Guan Yu and Sun Wukong both two of the best bruisers in the game when it comes to I guess picking phase strength.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, it's the ambiguity of the picking phase. They can go in any roles. They can really be switched up anywhere, and they perform equally well in both of them. And they're both like top 3 in that position. I don't know. Guan Yu's probably not a top 3 solo laner, but he's definitely a top 3 Guardian, top 5 solo laner, and Wukong top 3 in probably both categories.
Oh, he's definitely strong enough to scare me in the solo lane. If he gets even a little bit ahead of you, it's just he starts shredding you with Tallow Assault. It gets ridiculous.
Yeah, Guan Yu does really well, but man, he's such a good Guardian these days. He just brings so much shred to the table, especially when matched with the Neath. But it's gonna be a Freya this time, and I don't really love this lane as much as I think everyone, as the team seem to favor, especially Denial, Freya, and Guan Yu. I just would rather see a more maybe a Bacchus with Freya instead would be my preference.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see the Bacchus pick after how well Jeff did last game. That Bacchus, man, what an unbelievable player he is statically. But when you put Bacchus in his hands, he becomes incredible. Like, just constant damage. He knows when to pressure. The burps are always landing. And I think Intoxicate right now is probably the most disruptive move in the game.
Oh, yeah, it's 7 seconds of, like, soft CC. It's ridiculous.
Obnoxious.
Yeah. But I think all we're talking about here is ultimately what it just comes down to is Stealth probably going to just explode and take this game over. And if he doesn't, they're probably going to lose. Like, if he somehow loses to Isis in the mid lane, and they keep him down with the Thor,
really.
I don't think Cog has really a snowball's chance, right?
Yeah.
But if Zeus gets out of control, then
if
it's
Zeus
going to be...
stays in control, even.
Yeah, if Zeus just doesn't die too much, he hits that, like, 25-minute timing like no one else.
He is the god of gods. And week
Yep.
after week, when he gets through, he has proven it. The damage he is able to do and the control that he has. Like, just not even doing damage. Just like, let's say pretend they're doing the Gold Fury. You just put the ult in front of the Gold Fury, and they can't do anything about it. They just,
It's just...
they
Yeah,
just die.
too much. Yeah, hitting a Chain Lightning with the ultimate and then stunning them in the ultimate is going to kill almost anything except for your tank once he has a Sovereignty and another item, but that'll bring us into the game, DM, and let's go ahead and introduce our teams. It is 1-1 in this best-of-3 finals. This is game number 3, and this is week number 1 in the road to the $100,000 tournament. It's all about the seed points, and both of these teams want to take those down. There's also $1,000 on the line. Let's go ahead and introduce them. The blue team, fighting out of the bottom of the minimap on the left side of your spectator UI. They are Cognitive Gaming, North America. Barracuda will be comboing up with Ionic to give you the Apollo and Sobek dual lane, MLC Stealth in the mid lane as Zeus, Andestor in the jungle as Loki, and Mr. Omega in the solo lane as Ra and their opponents. Fighting out of the red side of the minimap, the top end and the right side of your spectator UI, they are Denial Esports NA, Mace of the Face in the mid on Isis, Pon jungling as Thor, Snoopy in the solo as Sun Wukong, Jeff Hinla, and Pendavion combining for the Guan Yu and Freya dual lane, and Denial roaming as 5.
As they always do. No Ward spotting them out, but they kind of called out exactly where they were going to go, and they have been spotted. Basically, just by Stealth sitting in the mid lane, him and Omega just hanging out at MLC tags, just throwing out all kinds of vision just by standing there simply. Why waste money on wards when you can just stand in mid lane, right?
Yeah, just go stand there. Don't worry, be happy. So judging by the pings there, Denial actually thinks Cog is going to come to invade this orange buff. That seems to be the favored invade. If teams are going to invade, it's the wraparound on this orange. It's just very hard to spot that coming without a deep defensive ward.
All right, so we're getting into it. The minions have spawned here. They're waiting on the buff camps. I don't know that Ionic has spotted this. Oh, he's going to spot that for sure and back off 3 members here. As you see, Mace rotating as well. They might be able to take this, but look at this. Barracuda barely even missing shots. They should be able to take this. They're looking for the charge prey at this point to try to steal it away. Who's going to get it? Nice Spirit Ball. They're going to be able to take that away, and who is it going on? Actually, did Ionic take that?
Yeah, Ionic got it.
Wow. They can't be happy about that. Not only do they miss that experience and miss that goal, but Jeff Hunla took a beating in attempts to try to steal that away. And now Barracuda's going to have a huge lead over Pendavion in the beginning of this game.
Barracuda hit 7 of 8 shots on the Guan Yu there. It's just remarkable.
It's almost annoying to watch.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good word for it.
It's
Barracuda
like
is
watching
annoying.
the girl in class answer every single question. You're like, I know the questions too. Let me answer one.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to auto attack someday as well as Barracuda. Someday I'll grow up and be as good at Barracuda as Smite.
I'm not even worried about it. Like, right lane looks like Cog's pushing into the tower as well. All 3 lanes are pressuring pretty decently. MLC, of course, stunk underneath, but he's Zeus, and I doubt he's worried too much about it. Pon Ulala looking for something over in the left, but nothing to be found. Going up towards the top side, he's going to walk through a ward to get through his red buff so they know where he is. Mid lane, Loki has showed up here, and it looks like Andestor has some pressure to be done. Now, with this team, I think Loki is actually one of the better picks against a character like Isis, who doesn't have amazing escape mechanics. And the burst damage coming out from characters like Zeus and Loki, that's dangerous stuff.
Man, and Loki does really well with Zeus, lest we forget. And, using his ultimate into a Zeus storm to lock someone down there is a really safe play. Probably the safest ultimate you can use as Loki. Because they can't really aggress onto you that heavily, right? I mean, it just really just comes down to that you can kind of snake back out of there. I think one of those XP camps on the right side did go the way of Denial. Now they're going to re-engage on a Snoopy. Snoopy goes down before finding the heal beam, and away they will put the Sun Wukong for the first blood, and they get it onto red buff, red pot Loki. And that is a much better start for Cogs and Aster.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably been aching for maybe not being killed right off the bat over the last couple games. And check it out, sitting second gold overall right now, putting himself ahead of solo laner MLC Omega and the duo lane with that kill. Not to mention his level 4 right now. When he hits level 5, you know Isis is going to be in a ton of trouble.
Yeah. Isis is going to be the target, and she's going to be an easy target, too. Stealth does quite a bit of damage to her to force her out of the lane. Going to get some farm up himself. Ionic taking camps. Ooh, Aster just misses keeping those re-aggressed. MLC Stealth too low to really try to go in here. In fact, Bonbon over the wall. Going to try to take him out if he gets too close. And now they're going to turn this around on Ionic, who doesn't have much in the way of defense at this point, but will dash away. And that's going to be XP camps on the left side for Denial. But, you know, they aren't getting early kills on the Zeus. And Zeus is level 6 now with cooldown reduction boots. So good luck finding kills on the Zeus now. Without 3-man plus dives.
So over the past couple of games, we have seen Mr. Mace to the face playing Jean-Qui. We haven't seen him play pretty much anyone else today. And every single time he has either gotten very close or topped the damage charts, and by a huge margin if he did. With this, he's playing Isis, not as much control, very little healing comparatively, and of course, the damage is much, much lower. So what we're expecting here is that maybe Pain has to step it up a little bit and get more damage done. Pompon's going to have to make quicker rotations, and at the same time, you see Aster and MLC Stealth not ready to give up any mid-camps. The pressure so far has been very, very intense, and you can see that reflected, even though it's only been 1 kill, it's 800 gold ahead and 1,300 experience.
Yeah, you know, what do you think about High Leviathan pickup here in the solo lane versus Ra? Oh, man, what a pause timing. So we have the pause going from Pain. It should be a short one due to technical issues, but look at Ponpon. He's up there.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm looking at Freya. Oh, is he in the air?
Yeah. He's ready to come in on Omega. Pause. Incoming now. Oh, wow, that looks pretty cool, though.
Do you have the cudgel?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Is yours directly in the ground right now?
No, mine has a huge orange trail.
Oh
Looks
my
sweet.
god. Look at that.
Oh, I gotta switch to the stream. I gotta enjoy it with you.
I'm actually gonna look up here at Mr. Pompon. Yes, he's getting ready here. I can't even get up there. Thor, how you get so high?
Oh man, yeah, mine has the effect still from the cudgel.
Oh wow. He is ready to go. Oh, wait. Oh. Wait, how'd I do that?
What have you done?
So while we get ready to fix these technical issues, guys, let's talk a little bit about builds. Snoopy opts for Hide of the Urchin start, more than likely not going to be finishing up Leviathan. We see a Watcher's Gift come out from Jeff Hinla. Ionic, same thing, Watcher's Gift has already got... Oh! Unpause has already come down there. He gets the stun. Where's Pompon? He's there. Bye, Omega.
Yeah, Omega known for being a super aggressive soul laner that doesn't buy wards. and there it goes
I respect that.
To bite him. Yeah, I mean, it's a min-max strategy, right? Don't ever spend money on wards and try to snowball as fast as possible, as hard as possible. But, there it's questionable if it would have even saved him based on where Ponpon ulted from. But it's still a tough death to eat. Still a tough death to eat at this point in the game if you're Omega. At least he didn't rush his Doom Orb as he often does.
That's a good point. You actually started to go into those boots rush and has finished teleport to towers, or rather into shielded teleport to ensure he gets some extra push there. Ponpon and Jeff Hinla on the left side being able to grab this up. Some free experience for them. Left side, Payne trying to get back to the lane safely, but if he gets picked, no, it looks like Ionic's going to rotate over. He's looking for wards. Maybe. I'm not really sure what he was looking for.
Yeah, he's looking for Skywards to find Thor.
I relate.
So, blue buff stolen here by Cog now. Are they going to pay for it? Ponpon is here. Looks like Aster wants to fight it, but now is thinking better of it, trying to get away. Jukes out, well, the most that he can with the ultimate as well, and that's going to save his life for now. Omega trying to run, casting spells defensively just to get out of the way, and now it's going to be Aster turning around on the blue buff for his solo laner, but a nice steal coming out for Cog there. They get that blue buff on the ground. They're going to get the blue buff onto Omega there with max timing once again. So, well played by them. They're going to snake away a little bit more gold and experience. This thing is sitting pretty even, ladies and gentlemen. 570 gold and a little over 1,000 experience in favor of Cognitive, separating these teams right now. No real item builds progressing too far. The only Tier 3 item up and running here is Hide of the Urchin on to Snoopy. So we'll see if he's able to do much with that, but I imagine it's just going to be more of a stall-out process versus Omega.
As this continues to get bigger and bigger, of course, he's going to be he needs to be a part of 10 kills, even if they're assists, to be able to stack that up. But once it's stacked up, it becomes a very dangerous item, not only giving 250 health and 250 mana, but 65 protections across the board. Very static item, very standard, but it does a lot.
Yeah, it does. It helps out a lot, but it's just such a questionable item pickup in the solo lane, I feel like. Like, you're just not involved in those assists and kills to get that thing stacked up. Why not just get the Hide of Leviathan?
Ooh, Stealth rotating directly into that pressure right there as he gets smacked by the Spirit Ball. Pompon taking a few hits for his trouble as well, but they are able to grab that middle camp once again. 400 gold separates the team, 1,000 experience as well in favor of Cognitive. But effectively, this game is as close to dead even as we're going to get at this point. And you got to give it to these players. Game 3 of the first week of the road to the 100K, and all of them are looking. Oh, Anister misses the ultimate. Mace might be able to get out of this when he's stunned. He gets the heal off, and he's running away. Anister with the choke ultimate might be caught here as Pompon chases, but he does not land. Tectonic Rift in mid. Barracuda comes inside, ensures that he makes that kill happen. They wasted so much on it. It needed to go down. He's trying to back. Pompon did not rotate in time. The tower dive was real. They were able to pick it up after a long, grueling fight, and the experience difference has skyrocketed up to 3K after that fight. Good play coming out there, rather good pickup coming out from Cog. It really seems like we're seeing an on-tilt Anister this game.
Yeah, Anister, I mean, he's got to make a bigger name for himself after that last game where he got, he had a pretty hard time there. But he's not doing poorly. I mean, he does miss an ult there, but he's still 0-2, has a couple assists to his name, going to have a Heartseeker up and running fairly shortly, and he can still find Assassins later on. Omega is going to be building into that Doom Orb as well, so triple stacking coming out for Cog. They are playing no games here in the finals.
They need to do it. I mean, we saw what happens when Denial can get ahead. They were able to keep it. Barracuda taking some damage there, but he's already cleared the wave. They can't really contest here. Pain does not have the damage. Level 8 Freya versus level 10 Apollo. That is a horrible matchup for Freya at this point. Even with her ultimate available to her, even though it's not, she would not be able to win that fight. Barracuda has just too much damage, too much control. Left side, we're seeing both mid camps. It looks like going to Mace to the face there as he's able to pressure Anister out. But I don't know. I mean, we see a lot of potential in the team fight coming out from Mace here, but they don't really. It seems like he's constantly on the defensive. Man,
they really should have banned Zhang Kui earlier. Look, Denial doesn't even look like the same team.
And this is the pressure. I mean, Zhang Kui's super powerful. I almost forget how strong he was before the nerfs.
Yeah, Ponpon's going to come in here, try to keep Jeff Hinla alive. No, Giannis going to clean that up with Sickening Strike. They will close the gap on to Pon there as he comes crashing in. So 3 down just like that for Denial and Cognitive. They say, well, hey, we get a Gold Fear out of this. Why the heck not? Pain to Beyond sitting at half health. Wukong rotating all the way across the map. I'm sorry, cannot rotate all the way across the map. It's just going to pressure that tier 1 in the right side. Does anyone have teleport to towers here? Omega used it to get in. So that tower likely to fall, or at least take quite a bit of damage here. It's going to be tough for them to defend this, actually. And this is the real danger of that early rotation from Ra. I would actually really have liked to see Ra stay on this left side and push his tower down with Barracuda and Snoopy and let Loki deal with the tower on the right side. But they're going to play it a little safer, and they're going to rotate him right across the map again.
And now, right in the mid lane, the camps have respawned. They're going to have an opportunity to take something, but Cognitive is starting to spiral. 3,300 gold puts them way ahead of the curve. And check this out. Anister on the right side, his tower still alive here as Omega finally returns to his lane to try to control it. So that 1,000 gold is there, but it is effective gold, and they have to be very careful about when they're able to counter push for it. Left side, you see the tower getting very low as well, almost equally so. Pompom rotating into the blue buff. Not a huge steal for them, but I'm sure could help at least in a little bit. They need to just have more pressure around the map. They have to gank this Zeus. I don't think MLC Stealth has been threatened yet.
Yeah, and how can you? I mean, it just teams don't even have experience playing against Zeus. You never get to see him. He's banned out in every ranked game. He's banned out in most tournaments. And then it seems like MLC Stealth is always the one that seems to get him in his hands. And usually teams are smart enough to at least give it to him in the first game so they can ban him out the last 2. But here, they let it go through in the finals. And, You know, I think that Denial overvalued Thor in that picking phase is what it was. They were like, okay, we'll ban out Tyr because Tyr can really handle Thor pretty hard as really a more superior bruiser after kind of the initiations. And then we'll give them Zeus because no problem, we have Thor and we have Isis to deal with it. But they didn't get much out of that early game push from Isis, and they're not going to get much out of their Thor now that he's fallen behind the Loki so much.
Banish coming out on the left side as Ionic rotates in, trying to find that pull onto Bane Divion. At best, this will force either a Beads or Valkyrie's discretion, and you do see the Beads coming out level 2, which is going to ensure that he doesn't have that for the team fight that I'm sure they're looking to start. Right side mid-camp has just respawned. Pon looking for something. This is his opportunity. They have to stop health, but too little, too late. It looks like they're going to be able to pick up Mace to the face again. Isis just no match for Zeus.
Yeah, there's that combination, Zeus, Loki coming together. You know, it just forces out those stacks. Pon going to be spotted out, going to stun now onto Anister. Ooh, actually hits both sides of that Mjolnir's Attunement. Anister forced to run away now, gets cleaned up by Berserker Barrage, so not good enough juking. Little bit greedy there, I think, from Anister as well, the path that he took. But he's going to pay with it. Pay for it with his life, so.
Not a good look.
Not the right place to run.
Left side, more boxing matches going on. Barracuda is in a great position right now to pressure Pain Divion. Could be putting him into his ultimate if he plays this correctly, but it looks like he's going to just back off over towards the right side. We see Jeff Hindla is going to be forced away from this blue buff. Barra gets a shot into it, but Hand of the Gods will confirm. Jeff taking a little bit of damage, but not enough to deter him. And Barracuda, of course, putting the fear in God in both and ensuring they back off a little bit. They have to be smarter about this. They have to find a gank onto Zeus. It just doesn't look like Pon and Mace are confident enough in their ability to shut him down. And, you know, looking at the board, Stealth has full beads, which means if they do initiate with Anvil of Dawn or Spirit Ball, he gets to just pop those beads, pop Aegis Shield, and walk out of it like nothing even happened.
Yeah, that's tough. You just can't dive this god. You really can't. And Thor really a diving specialist with Isis. They need they really need the perfect setup to work. They need the Isis ultimate down on the ground with Zeus in it when Thor comes crashing down to really burst them, I think. It's going to be really tough.
Right lane, Snoopy taking some damage, but probably not enough to deter. Omega might have to use his ultimate here to clear this wave out. Looks like he's just going to stand inside the heal and wait for Celestial Beam to come back up, and that's what he does. Topside, Pon's getting maybe a little bit aggressive here. This could be his opportunity, but no, it looks like Stealth's going to stay safe again. Level 15, highest level in the game, of course, tied with Omega on the right side. We do see some pressure going out here. Snoopy getting some stuns onto Annonster. Pon up in the air. They're looking for it. This could be a big swing. Assassinate has been used. Looks like Pon went into mid lane. Stealth's almost down. They finally get him. And, oh, Sobek almost picking up a kill himself. Oh, and Omega almost getting a snipe as well, but nothing to be found. But there goes Snoopy as he gets a little bit too aggressive. 1-for-1, but that one's definitely in favor of Denial.
And now, in the meantime, Barracuda going to push through in this left side tower. No, barely not going to have enough, but it gets Freya very, very, very low, and this should be simple enough for him to clean up. Andister on Loki, rotating around to that left side lane. Going to look to snipe a kill onto Freya, but she has already recalled, of course. And so there it is. Tower goes down in favor of Barracuda. Andister here to clean up the mess if he needs to, but he's going to go ahead and teleport back as well. And it's a respectable lead now built by Cognitive Gaming. 4,100 gold, 5,800 experience going their way and continuing to climb as Omega will pressure the tier 1 on the right side, and there's no one here to stop him.
No, there's not. There are some creeps, but that won't deter. A few of the archers are still hanging out. On top of that, I don't even think that's going to go through there. It does go through, but Snoopy's going to be stuffed out as he has no defensive measure here. Pon's rotating as well. You see Annonster on the bottom side of the map coming up as well. He might have an opportunity to turn this around, but Snoopy's still pretty tanky. At the same time, that's another 1,000 gold added to the Cognitive side, which is very heavy. I mean, we're seeing a lot of snowball action coming out. Barracuda's level 15. We see 15 on Stealth, 16 on Omega, only 115 on the opposite side, and it's Snoopy who's actually opting to build major amounts of damage as he's going into Chin's Blade's third on Sun Wukong.
Yeah, but, you know, they killed Zeus, so they win the game, right? Isn't that how it works? You kill him once, the game ends, forfeit?
That's how the movie Hercules went, right? From Disney?
Yeah, that's... Nice. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's actually a pretty strong rotation coming out from Denial here. They want to catch an answer. He's forced to ult away. It's an ultimate used by Stealth as well. He wants to find Pon moving through the Fire Giant. Omega's there as well. Down he goes. No chance to channel Thor off the board. The tossback is real from Ionic. Can they get the stacks up onto Wukong? They can, but it's just on to the silly clone there, and Snoopy gonna heal up just fine. Now he comes oxing back through the lane, and. Well, really, at the end of the day, they give up Pon there for a missed kill onto Anister, who has Jotun's Wrath up and running, and it's a free Gold Fury for Cog. It doesn't even look like Denial knows what to do about this. They're kind of sitting around waiting for someone to go in. It's getting low enough. Here comes Jeff Hinla. Horse is amazing. Where is it? Denial is going to scoop it up. Jeff Hinla is just godlike at taking those.
I love it. Ionic super low as well. Snoopy managing to get out there. Jeff Hinla trying to control, but on the top side, we see Pain to Beyond going down, Mace to the face, not much farther behind. They will meet each other in the respawn Ether world as they pressure the enemy side of the map, take that red buff. They did lose the Gold Fury. That, I think, is Jeff's 4th steal today.
He's truly...
He's got to stop.
He's a prodigy of objective kills.
As is Barracuda in tower pushing, as you see more pressure coming out on the left side. Both of them now opting to back here. Actually, MLC, not really sure what he plans to do, possibly going for the mid-camp. Mid lane Snoopy kind of stuck underneath the tower, too afraid to go out as 3 members of COG rotate in to get an extra burst of gold and experience, and all of it's going to be going right to them.
Oof. That's a really tough hole to climb out of now. Denial does surge back a little bit there with that steal, of course, but still 5,000 gold and 9,000 experience going the way of Cognitive, and it's showing in their items. Omega going for his typical Omega Ra build, which is cooldown reduction, boots do more of a Magi's Blessing, because, hey, that's obviously the build you go on Ra in the solo lane. Barracuda here has Chin size up and running, and it's a Bancroft's talent for stealth, so a little bit of magical lifesteal as well as a lot of magical power, and even more dive protection there as he gets low. He's going to start doing more and more damage. Jotun's Wrath, Heartseeker, the double mace build finished for Andy there, and Ionic is going to have his Sovereignty up and running. The real loser of this game so far, though, in terms of, really beginning the short end of the stick, is Pain to Beyond. 0-1 and 0, no damage items, only has Haste and Fatalis, has been really abused by Barracuda in this lane once it went to solo and the support started roaming. And it's going to be really tough for them to get him back into a spot where he can really do damage. And that's why I think you see Freya favored in the jungle. It's a much more reliable farm spot.
On the left side, Barracuda getting chased out again by Ionic. Level 18 right now in the duo lane. Check out the build. Chin size is done. Heartseeker's done. Warrior Tabby for that extra penetration. Not to mention a massive amount of attack speed coming out from that passive. There's so much potential in Apollo's damage right now. And it's showing. Look at Barracuda, 3-0-2 right now. Hasn't even been rotating too hard. Gets a tower taken down already. And he continues his pressure. And there's really not much Pain to Beyond can do here. Because if he pressures, he will take insanely more damage. Actually, I missed that. MLC Stealth goes down. Anister trades it out for, it looks like the mid laner as well. Mace going down.
It was the Thor ultimate coming in. Barracuda wants to dive the tower, though, here at DM. And he's going to think better of that. But yeah, it was the Thor. No, it wasn't the Thor Ultimate. Sorry, it was just the port through because Thor Ultimate now being used. Anvil of Dawn misses Anister. Anister juking it for now, but he will die under tower. Pain to Beyond uses ultimate just to tickle Ionic there a little bit as he moves back. Omega's rotated in, going Mail of Renewal, getting that MLC stealth build up and running. Toss back on Jeff Hinla. Can they burst down the tank? They can indeed. Hand of the Gods 3 is down. They don't have much damage besides Barracuda right now, but yeah, they can't take a Fire Giant here, but they will be able to, a nice banish there. It's going to keep them from doing too much damage at the moment. Barracuda throwing in the auto attacks, but a nice play there by Denial to keep that tower pusher being too strong. I think that they should be able to hold this, at least for the moment.
Oh, look at this. Snoopy gets plucked, and he disappears. Barracuda putting another notch on the belt right there. 4-0-3. Berserker Barrage not going to be enough. That Rock Heal doing work, and Pon gets picked off, and look at this. Pain has put himself out of position, too. One shot's going to do it. Nice Spirit Ball to try to counter, but I don't think Isis has the damage to burn this down. The second Spirit Ball is going to be good, but the silence is missed. Look at Barracuda running in circles. There's nothing to be done. He's getting him closer to the wall, and I don't know if he's gonna have the cooldown up. 3, 2. He gets it, but he doesn't have the. Look at that health. Look at that in the background.
Oh man, Barracuda just making people look silly. Oh my god.
It must be the shoes.
Yeah, it's got to be the
It's
shoes.
the only possibility. Picking up that sprint.
Those like Hermes like Adidas shoes in real life.
Oh man, but like watching him do that, it's got to be inspiring to newer players or aspiring pro players to see that the damage reduction potential in the game. And I know that's one of the biggest draws for me, is that you're able to dodge pretty much everything in the game at any point with proper use of abilities and proper use of movement. And look at what he was able to do. Not only did he do all of that, but he got back, and that tower's already sitting at critical.
Oh man, I'm still not over the plays there. The jukes of Hazard. If they would have converted that kill, it would have been the greatest play. But unfortunately, not going to be top play of the week this week. Nice try, though, Barracuda.
Nice try.
Nice try, scumbag. Nothing for you, bud. So COG, they're gonna keep the pressure up on mid tower. They're gonna force denial to stay here with multiple members to prevent it from going down. In the meantime, you're gonna see split push coming out from Barracuda. Cognitive just playing their game. They're playing to their strengths. They're playing to Apollo's strengths in a big way. Pain to be on. What are you gonna do against them? Level 15 Freya going against level 20 Apollo with a Rage Blade. It's not going to work out in your favor. Slap fight from the tanks at Gold Fury, going to draw out Mace to the face. And it looks like Gold Fury going to be where we're looking shortly. That looks like to be just a little bit of a solo kill there for Loki onto Thor. Go ahead and blow him up while he in stealth now. Oh, I'm telling you, man. COG is going to change their name to Team Mail of Renewal. They love this item. Both Omega and Stealth are picking it up this game.
It's a decent item. 10% back of your maximum health, especially when you have items like Magi's Blessing is huge. But look at this. COG has a chance here to really do some major damage. They're trying to get something done. Barracuda picks off Mace. Jeff Himmler gets grabbed as well. They pick up the Gold Fury. 7,000 gold free added to the coffers once again. Mid tower pressured and will be going down. Few hits coming out, possibly a tier 2 as Barracuda has rotated over to the left side to continue the split push. We see actually Snoopy try to make something worth here as he tries to pressure, uses the Hand of the Gods to clear the wave, and is now going for a tier 2 himself, but I don't know if he's going to have the damage potential because they do have teleports available to them. MLC actually going back instead of teleporting. I don't know if he has it available to him. Left side, Barracuda being deterred. Anister fights Pain to Beyond. He does manage to get the right side tower, but still 8,500 gold separate the teams. And Cognitive's sitting pretty.
Yeah, that is a really, really good look for Cognitive. You know, they only have 2 more towers remaining on the map. They put some nice pressure into the mid lane. Phoenix now exposed. And Barracuda going to go ahead and recall it. Anister, you know, this game doing pretty well for himself. 5, 2, and 7, looking like a pretty strong Loki game for him. And Loki, once he gets rolling, he doesn't really ever stop rolling. He's either enough ahead that he can kill people, or he's not. And in this situation, he is enough ahead, and he has been killing people. 5 to be exact. And man, I'd love it when I just love this build when the Guardians end up getting the Witchstone for the team. I think Jeff Himmler maybe should have picked this up on Pon over the Ankh. I mean, I know he wants the extra health to deal with the Loki burst, but this dropping down that Loki's attack speed, as well as the Zeus's attack speed, as well as Barracuda's attack speed, all 3 of those gods rely very heavily on attack speed, and it really helps him out. Also, it tends to stop Sobek fairly well as well, if you think about it. It just makes it so that he's not stacking up those protections from his passive as quickly during any one engagement. So all around, Witchstone does quite well against Cognitive Gaming, and it's a shame we don't see it coming out until about 24 minutes.
Oh, here comes the ultimate assassinate used. Nice banish, but will the vanish be able to deal it? No, there's nowhere to go. Ionic's going to be able to clean this one up for free. Sickening strike drops him down, and there's not even damage potential here. All coming out. Actually, don't think that hit anybody, strangely enough. Ionic gets the full brunt of that damage out, and here comes the Zeus ult. Goodbye, Denial. Everything's going down. Pon, too little, too late. Is just going to have to get out of there. Jeff Himmler's getting chased in the mid lane against very quick characters, and there's nothing to be had. Pon, the final point. Oh, there's nothing they could do. They could probably just end the game right now if they just push into the tower. They might be able to push this down. Omega with the taunt spam. You know he loves it. I hate it so much.
The Kaka's coming through. Middle Phoenix going down. The Deicide coming out. No, it's Fire Giant. Come on. Don't be that way, Cognitive.
Yeah, I mean, Pain with no ult really didn't have enough pressure there to stop that. I think I would have pushed in there. They could have taken that win pretty simply.
So it's going to be Fire Giant. It's going to be a free Fire Giant. They can see that ward, but they're like, hey, why even bother? Let's just leave it standing. And so down will go your Fire Giant here, easily to the gentlemen of COG, and they're in a great position to win week number 1 and keep their win streak alive. They do lose a game here, but they don't. It's unlikely at this point they're going to lose this best of 3. I'll say 25 minutes into the game, sitting on 12,000 gold, 25,000 experience, a Fire Giant buff. This is maybe the most dominant game we've seen in the last few rounds.
Yeah, 24-6 right now. They have complete control, losing 1 Gold Fury to a steal. Otherwise, they've dropped 2 towers, but every other point of contention has been stripped away and destroyed by this cognitive lineup. Talking about, looks like 4 towers, including a tier 2. We have a Fire Giant taken, we have a Gold Fury taken, and the pressure has just been unbelievable. Check this out, Painivion forced to banish again and run away. Can't even go into his own jungle safely anymore. And the grouping seems to be a little bit spread right now, but I imagine they're going to start pressuring and going for this left tower. You see Yannick rotating over, looking for the pull. Sickening Strike used, not doing any damage, but the damage coming out onto the tower from Barracuda is very high.
Yeah, they're going to go in on Yannick here, but man, that Ra heal... Hold on. 15,000 healing from Omega so far this game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 15k he's put
and
up.
That's team healing. That's not even himself.
Yeah, that's all the healing he doesn't get on himself. Big Ra sign coming through. Yannick going to pop off as well. Pon in the air, going to come crashing down. Where's it going to be? It's going to be onto Stealth. They want to keep him locked down. They definitely don't want that Zeus ultimate ripping through them at this point. But yeah, Stealth looks like he's perfectly happy to keep throwing in auto attacks. They're going to stay in here for the moment. 1 down. Anister already dead, but they traded for Snoopy as well. Jeff Hindla falls to... Oh, wow. Chain Lightning just crushes there. Barracuda doing too much damage with the in-hands. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is likely to be your game. They're going to go ahead and chase on because, you know...
Why are they doing this? Go kill the Minotaur.
Hey, they're going to let the Fire Minions do it. They wanted to get that last kill on the Pon. And now... Cognitive Gaming North America.
I think that's it.
They're going to caw their way to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, they will be your victors in week number 1. They'll take all of the seed points, and they will remain the number 1 seed moving into next week as well. Congratulations to the gentlemen of COG in their victory. It was a really a great series. Yeah. Really, this is one of the best weekly tournaments to date.
GG coming out from COG there. We saw 2 very intense games back-to-back, but Cognitive pulling up the britches, getting the big boy hat on, and barreling it down 29-7, 15,000 gold. Actually, 15,500 separated the 2 teams, and I'm sure the damage is going to reflect that. But again, we see Barracuda with 13 and 0.
Unstoppable. And they were going after the Penta there on Pawn. That's what it was.
Oh.
He had a quad going at that point. I just realized it. As the accolades stacked up. So going for the Penta, didn't find it for Barracuda, but yeah, 13-0 and 8. Anderson did well this game as well. Stealth, we know Stealth is unstoppable on Zeus. People still just for whatever reason, this is the only team that ever gets Zeus. Like no one ever gets Zeus, but somehow they're like, we'll just, even though the only guy that ever plays him and does really well with him, we'll just let him get it.
Oh man.
My favorite Sobek build.
What? Telkines?
Oh, favorite Sobek build. Nah, Soul Reaver.
Oh, Telkines ring early. Build it.
Early Telkines?
Just stick on people and be obnoxious.
Oh, so silly.
It's the only way to fight Guan Yu. But that's going to be all of week 1. Honestly, there isn't much to say about that game. No analytics are going to change the demolition that COG just brought to the table there. Incredible showing from Game 3. They really manned up, and they showed weakness for the first time in many weeks, and they recouped that by going 29-7.
Hey, why not? 29-7. I mean, after losing a game decisively to Denial, but really, it's hard to judge their ability to kind of stand up to Denial based on that game. They really just got hosed. Denial just found a great little wrinkle, got the invade, and then killed Anister again, and it was a 4v5 at that point. He was just feeding, and there's very little he could do about it. Tier not a comeback specialist by any stretch of the imagination.
So that's going to be it for week 1, Bart.
It is.
It is. Week 1 has gone directly into the pockets of Cognitive Gaming. Taking a look at the brackets here, we're going to check in on the bronze match as well. What do we see? It looks like Dignitas was able to beat seed 20 Pentablink, but we do see the top 3 seeds taking 1, 2, and 3. Cognitive Gaming NA, of course, taking top honors. Denial Esports taking 2nd place overall, and then Dignitas, in a slight fall from grace in the previous months, has fallen to 3rd, but with the new, I guess, maybe not roster changes, but role swaps, I expect a lot of intense comebacks coming out from Dignitas over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I mean, this was a great tournament. We also saw some really strong looking new teams onto the scene.
Yeah,
I mean, Penta going deep this tournament, looking great.
This is the first time they've shown they switched their lineup this week, and it worked out fairly well for them. Next week they'll be going in as the 4th seed, as they have taken 4th today, and this is the first week for seed points. SMITE taking that 5 to 8 seed, as well as Still Dreaming, Team Injection, and Armada. So we're going to see all of those guys, I guess, whittled into the top 8. So expect at least one round of 8, maybe even a round of 16, to be a very, very close call, as Snipe is going to be put in the midst against the top-tier teams.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really fun week. Yeah, you mentioned Snipe. Snipe does fall pretty early in this tournament. Unfortunately, they find Dignitas in their bracket, and they will go down. But, I mean, we can't forget that play of Blastus and Allied.
Yeah,
I mean, that was insane.
The Allied had so many shots that he just... It's not that he missed them. It's that Lassus completely read every single one,
yeah,
and
just
juked
juked
them completely, and then was able to turn it around with that spirit arrow, kept him in place, and then bang, 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 picked him off, and that crit, ooh.
It's the way it goes, man.
It was rough.
The way she goes.
But that's going to be it for our cast of Week 1. Of course, there are 8 weeks on the road to the 100K Invitational. Over the next few weeks, we're going to see which teams can battle it out. Stick around for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as the European teams start their road to the 100K. Of course, cast by Drybear, and I think myself as well.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Yes, I will, which means I have to go to bed.
Night.
Good night.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. However you're watching, wherever you're watching from, we appreciate you tuning in for the North American SMITE tournament. As DM has mentioned, it is, of course, qualifiers for the 100K. More EU action tomorrow starting at 9 a.m., and that's going to do it for us. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here watching the tournament. You can stay here and watch, I think, Mamacita come up next, though. So this is the 24-hour channel. There's more entertainment to come all the way up till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning if you want more SMITE. If not, have a great rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, guys.